Alright. Slicestone Gaming's MAXPAX down here in the bottom right side of the map. SERRAL in the top left as well. It is the big match, the rematch, the lower bracket finals. It's Protoss versus Zerg. And of course, MAXPAX. He won a narrow 3-2 victory over SERRAL in the previous series. I thought it was going to be a 3-1, right? That was, I think, the Ley Lines game where SERRAL made that miraculous comeback. But now in the rematch, MAXPAX is facing off game 1 on King's Cove. And I gotta say, as SERRAL, why are we playing King's Cove, mate? What are we doing leaving this map in the map? Well, I get it's a best of 7 now. And I guess you've only got 1 veto. So I guess he got rid of Neon Violet Square? Oh, I don't know. I absolutely abhor playing Zerg vs Protoss on King's Cove and Neon Violet Square. These maps are just so hard to kill them. And the obvious thing is, well, if you hate this map, go do a Nidus Worm. Do a Nidus Worm all in, right? Problem, they're not as effective with those oracles having unlimited energy, and MAXPAX has shown a lot of practice with defending those. And you know who we have to blame. You know who SERRAL has to blame for that. His name is Dark. Dark has Nidus Wormed and Proxy hatched MAXPAX so many times in online cups. And as a result, MAXPAX has become an absolute freak at defending all sorts of shenanigans. So MAXPAX is just too good at defending these days. I think SERRAL's really got his work cut out for him if he wants to do a cheese. Then again, we didn't see too many like Roach Max, or no, not Roach Maxes, but like really fast Queen Walks, or Niduses or German taxis. I think he did 1 German taxi in the previous series, and it didn't quite work out, and he kind of went back to a bit more middle of the road play, looking for those openings in the mid game. But yeah, this is going to be fascinating to see what happens. Laughed my LMAO. Dark tried playing Protoss versus Shin yesterday. He didn't go well, which, I mean, like off racing is really, I can understand if you're playing like a very defensive Zerg. Off racing Protoss can feel a little bit almost overpowered, because you're like, well, this Protoss late game is so good. This guy's going to let me get the late game. Hell yeah. You play against Shin. Like, Shin is a master of killing Protoss in the mid game, man. I mean, it's crazy, because he actually almost held on in the second game, Dark did. But at the end of the day, Shin was just a bit too experienced for him. Now, SERRAL's going 6 Lings early. This is specifically to take advantage of the Adept moving out, but there's no way the Adept moves out. So, SERRAL committing to 6 Lings. What? Oh, MAXPAX is moving out. Wait, is he? No, he cancels the Shade. He cancels the Shade. Stays just outside of Overlord Vision. It's a trap. SERRAL's going to go in, though. He thinks that Adept has left. But, oh, here we go. Zerg is going to run in. The Adept is there. I don't think he's going to get too much damage, but he's going to split the Lings up, which is the right move, right? Waste that mining time. That's the main thing you want to do here. Goes to the other probe on the other side. Is he going to be able to get it? The other Lings are in the main base. He pulls back in the same time in the main base. The probes chasing after him. In the natural, Zergling gets taken down. Main base. Zerglings take out the probe. Oh! Oracle's there. Adept going after them. It's going to clean this up. But you know what? You wasted a little bit of mining time. You may not have killed much. 1 probe. But it's okay. Right? 1 probe is fine. It's acceptable. You wasted a bit of time. You got a scout. It's not the end of the world, but I would say probably just building 3 drones would have been a little more efficient. Now, Oracle's going to come across the map at the same time. 3rd Nexus is going to go down as well. And we are going to be seeing that Nexus at 345. It's a decent timing. It's not the Clem build where you go for it before the 3rd pylon, before the 2nd Oracle even starts or anything like that. But the Oracle's going to get in there fast. Now, you can just fight the Queen if you want. Does not choose to do so. I always wonder if it's worth it. Like, because one thing I haven't really analyzed in the early game is, obviously the Queens are spending most of their energy on creep tumors. They don't have a lot of inject energy. Is it worth trading your shields to do like 30, 40 hit points of damage to a Queen and then just backing away? Because softening those Queens up sometimes does open up the opportunity for the follow-up. Okay, Oracle goes around the back, other one comes in the front. It's the classic 2-prong pressure. He's famous for this. MAXPAX so good at doing these 2-prong attacks. He even goes for the Zerglings, gets himself a Zergling, pulls back. One in the main base, going to do a stasis trap to try and distract. Is he? Oh, he is going to go for that stasis trap. Oh, SERRAL pulls back at the very last second. Single drone goes in range, but those 3, remember, the activation range is this big but to set it off, but the actual explosion is a little bit bigger than that. Another drone goes down. 2 drones in total falling. Oracle takes a lot of damage, though, and this Oracle, oh, takes a lot of hurt there. MAXPAX pulling back on the north side. He gets another one. Oh my god, how do you defend this? How do you defend this without losing workers, dude? SERRAL's going to lose 3 drones and mining time while having 5 Queens well spread and 2 spores. I feel like this is vindication for every time I've played MAXPAX and I've lost 36 workers in the first 5 minutes and gone, well, he's a freak. Stalker's warping in. He's going to be Blink 6 gate, but no +1 attack just yet. The Forge is finished. I'm sure he's going to start that up in a moment. He's just a bit starved for money as MAXPAX, as he's macroing very well, keeping the pressure up with the Oracles as well. Going to find some creep here. Revelation on the Tumor is pretty common, but he only gets one with that particular Revelation. Oh, he's going to go for more Creep Tumors. There's so many Creep Tumors around them, though. I actually don't think this really does anything, other than maybe forcing one Creep Tumor down to replace those. Quick 4th base does get spotted. It's about 540 that that one starts. 3 more Overlords are on the way as well. Zergling backs away. All right, guys, so we've got ourselves 65 drones, 67 now, 5 queens, more Zerglings coming in as well. Roach Warren's there. No Evo Chamber. Oracles are going forward. Stalkers as well. 6 gates coming up. I mean, there's no Robo, and that's pretty standard. I imagine we are going to be seeing some form of much delayed Robo. MAXPAX usually likes to go Robo, start building the Prism, the Observer, Mortals one at a time, after Psystorm, of course, but before going up to the Tempests. Relying on going straight Tempests always a little bit dicey. Overseer in the back here for SERRAL, ready to scout everything. Zerglings looking to catch the rally right now as the Stalkers arrive on creep. The Stalkers are starting to push onto creep, but right now back at home, that Stalker gets surrounded. Blink was not ready, not able to escape that. The Oracles can only guard the Stalkers that are with them, not the other ones. SERRAL already setting up to set off the Stasis Trap. Great preparation by him. And the Stalkers, they want to deny this 4th base. Oh, he's thinking of going up that ramp. Hello. He's thinking of pulling up that ramp, and then, of course, he can blink down the ledge as well if he needs to, which is really clever. Zerglings, he's trying to block them. Oh, he manages to block them. They don't set off the Stasis Trap. SERRAL knows what he's up to, but unable to activate that one. Now, remember, guys, the Roach Horn did make, but there was no Roach speed. It's straight to Hydraling in this game. MAXPAX blinks everything away. Stasis Trap is excellent, freezing 2 queens and a pack of Zerglings. I don't think any of these Stalkers have died just yet, other than the one that was coming across the map. Looks like 1 more Stalker went down. So 1 Stalker went down, units lost tab, 400 for Protoss, 950 for Zerg. It's a good start here for MAXPAX. But as these Hydras come out, that'll be nice. He's going to go movement speed first, is SERRAL. Not something you see every day. He's frozen on 68 workers. He needs to be able to jump on top. SERRAL trying to engage with this army right now. He's trying to overwhelm it, but he doesn't have the Hydras behind. He's got so many units getting frozen by Stasis Traps. This is such a good usage by MAXPAX as he pulls those Oracles home. Overseer is in the back. I do wonder if there's a chance to Nidus Worm a counterattack in this corner. MAXPAX does have vision pretty much everywhere, though. And those Stalkers on the front getting a few Zerglings as they pop out of the stasis. 4th Nexus starts just before 8 minutes. It's not a very fast 4th base, but because he put on heavy pressure, he kept SERRAL on a low worker count, 68. SERRAL only now starts to drone, but he's already got the Hydraling Bane coming across the map. He did not make Groove Spines. SERRAL only has 5 range on the Hydras. He's forgotten about that upgrade in the midst of the chaos. Oh, he's going to try to come forward. Ling and Hydra on the right at the same time. He's trying to bust the wall on the left side. He tries to go forward. MAXPAX pulling back on the right side. He needs a force field. MAXPAX, he does get the force field down, but the Lings are in. At the same time, Hydra Lings on the left side. This is a huge attack for SERRAL. A massive moment for him. The Stalkers blink across, or actually, sorry, they just warp in, and they do deal with those Zerglings, but not before a bunch of them die. And at the same time, the 4th gets cancelled. Stalker's not quite able to block those Zerglings. If he was just a little over, he could have stopped them from retreating. At the end of all that, guys, 600 resources... almost 1,000 resources lost in favor of MAXPAX, but that's fine for SERRAL. Losing the 4th is really bad for MAXPAX. On the other hand, though, remember, if a Protoss supply count is growing, they're not losing valuable army units. At the end of the day, do they care? Against a Zerg whose late game is not as good as the Protoss late game, many of us would not only argue that, but say, you know, definitely right now, with the Mothership being unabductable, Tempest being one less supply, Protoss just dominates the late game, right? And we did kind of see that happened in a few scenarios in the last series, but of course, SERRAL showed even from very bad positions with way less income and whatnot on ley lines, he was able to fight back with efficiency. Hydraling Bane gathering up on the front. SERRAL has a big army supply lead. I like the idea of MAXPAX poking and prodding, but if he goes on creep and loses these High Templar, it could be a big problem. The High Templar are in the front. Oh, he manages to morph some Archons. The Stasis Traps and the Storm's going down, trying to cover his retreat, but he's already lost all of his Side Storms. The Stalker's there. Don't blink forward. He blinks forward. Oh, he gets 2 Hydras for it. And he's got to be careful. He's only got Archons and Stasis Traps to deal with these Zerglings. The Stalkers, he's got to start blinking them back. He tries to. The Stasis Trap does help him out. Zealots at the same time on the right side. MAXPAX is trading really well, but it's the supply that's scary. You know, as a Protoss, you've got to respect what your opponent's up to. And that means more Storms, more High Templar, few Archons. If you can keep those Archons alive, let their shields regen, that's going to give you value as well. Prism in the back door, by the way. He did try to drop there, but he's only killed 4 drones in total this game. So he hasn't really found a lot of income, but he can pin some of SERRAL's army back here, make it harder for SERRAL to be aggressive. And of course, SERRAL's hive has only just started. It's not a very fast hive. Interestingly, SERRAL's gone back to +2 melee. Previously, we saw him mostly focused on range upgrades for the attack, something which I think is more important. However, look at his army. It is mostly massling Bane, and on a big map like this, he might be favoring that more mobile style, which is why he's, of course, prioritizing those upgrades and potentially setting up for ultras later in the game. I do think SERRAL will need a second Evo chamber, though, because this game does look like it's going to go for a long one. He's going to clean up a few zealots, but not the most efficient trade. One of those zealots still alive. Stasis Trap Cannon Battery Storm Spread is a nightmare for Hydraling Bane to engage, but right now the Protoss army is small. There's only a few Psy Storms in there. There's 3 Psy Storms available. Energy Recharge could be ready, though. More Stasis Traps coming in from behind. Stalkers are going to poke forward, try to bait him into the Storms. You want to keep those High Templar further back so the enemy clumps into it. Zergling setting off another Stasis Trap. Nice move here for SERRAL. There are more Stasis Traps behind it. Good zoning Storm to hold back the army, but it doesn't actually kill too much. Another Storm goes down. The Baneling's rolling into that mineral line right now. Probe's trying to run away from MAXPAX, but you can see those probes in the bottom left get blasted. Stalkers blink forward, and he's going to chase back SERRAL's army. So a lot of probes go down. MAXPAX not too happy with that, but on the other hand, hey, you didn't lose your army. And remember, that is what ZvP is all about. The central philosophy of every high-level Zerg player is, oh no, he's going to lose the Prism. Nice snipe. Kill the Warp Prism whenever you can, number one. But number two, it's try to hit the Protoss economy is not the end goal. It is a means to an end. And that end is force the Protoss to come out and fight you. Force the Protoss to stand their ground. And if you can kill their army, keep their army small, that's when Protoss suffers. That's when Protoss doesn't get those massive power spikes where Mass Storm and Archon group together. My god, that Zergling count is intense. MAXPAX is going to need Storms for days. Good Storms so far. Clears a lot of the Zerglings. He's almost out of Storms right now. He might have one left. Time Warp goes down. The Ling Bane rolling forward. Another Storm lands. A massive couple of Storms land on the Ling Bane. The Stalker's pulling back. Mama's there trying to hold on as well. And it looks like he does just barely hold on. SERRAL splits the Banelings, though. There were some Banelings frozen by a Stasis Trap on that left side. There's not many probes clumped up here. So as long as MAXPAX spreads them, he might be able to weather the storm. He is surviving right now. 7 more probes go down. He could put the probes back to mining. A bunch of the idle ones will go there as well. No 5th base for MAXPAX yet. Meanwhile, SERRAL, he's got a 4th. He's got a 5th and a 6th base up. But does he actually have a supply advantage? No. Yeah, he's got bank. When he spends his bank, he'll have a supply advantage, but how much? Looks like he's going to be waiting to spend some supply on Lurkers and some on potentially Corruptors. And I actually think we're going to see Great Aspire first here. I think Great Aspire is going to be the first upgrade. Yes, it is. So he goes Great Aspire. New Warp Prism in the top filled with Zealots. Zealots in the top right as well. The Tempests are now coming out. And remember, Mama survived. And she's going to be a real threat in this. 8 kills already. Top right. Zealots surrounding, getting surrounded by Zerglings. 10 Corruptors on the way as well. The amount of multitasking we see in modern StarCraft is truly insane, dude. Too bad. I just watched this series. It's much better with Pigs comments. Oh, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. You guys should know, I always cast every tournament afterwards. Always commentating them, especially these ones that are played in the middle of the night, which is most StarCraft tournaments played in the middle of the night. Early morning if you're in NA, middle of the night if you're in Oceania. You gotta wait. You know, I'll always put out the best series. Sometimes I rush out the finals right after, but in this case I said, you know what, let's just cast the most important, in my opinion, series from the top, and then we'll go back and cast the other ones over time. Corruptor's going to chase down the Warp Prism. Ooh! Zealot's getting shot down there as well. MAXPAX is maxed, and that's the scary point. This is where SERRAL goes, oh god, now I need to play late game. Now, he's going to go for a few Infestors. We have seen top Zergs not really believing in the Viper lately. I do think it's an oversight. I do think a single Viper is amazing, and you should add it in. On the other hand, obviously, there's a lot of things you have to manage in these late game. Stalker's blinking forward. The Storm's catching these Banes. Really nice move for MAXPAX. MAXPAX has shown a great ability to split push like this. And remember, he can always reposition with the recall to grab this army from the bottom left, pull it to the top right. He's on 6 Tempests right now, plus 2 air weapons is on the way. No shield upgrade started just yet, and I do think that should be a priority for the style he's playing. Storms are zoning, but SERRAL's been really good at dodging those storms, right? He runs past, he doesn't run into the storms, and MAXPAX kind of panic storming a little bit as he picks off a Queen in the top right. Now, he is 6,000 resources apart. He's going to recall this army to the top side. Wait, he's still splitting. MAXPAX splitting his army up? Even though he's over here? Wow, I wasn't expecting that. Does he have enough to deal with these Corruptors? I thought when he recalled here, he'd keep this army together, but he splits it up. The Tempests do get hit by a Fungal, and then the Corruptors jump on top. With the Archon Stalker defending them, they are okay. Meanwhile, middle of the map, 2 Archons get caught there. Yeah, looks like it was a bit of army miscontrol there from MAXPAX. He did rejoin the army, but not before leaving 2 Archons hanging out. Corruptors come forward as well. How many Tempests did he get? Did he get a second one? No, he did not. He got 1 Tempest only. So that's actually not too efficient for SERRAL just yet, but this is where he could find the money. Clears all the cannons and batteries. The recall comes in, and you'll notice he spreads just the Ling Bane down here. He wants the Banelings to get those probes. The Lings go after the cannons. He gets a couple of probes. But overall, good defense by MAXPAX as he pulls away those units. Stasis Trap freezes what's left. And of course, his 5th base survives over here as well. Over there, Zealot gets cleaned up. This is weird, man, because now as SERRAL, you're just going to have to do the SERRAL thing. Dig your heels in, play patiently, wait for MAXPAX to make mistakes, right? How can you try to amplify those mistakes or pressure him into it? Well, I guess little Lurker Harass could be good. Rolling Ling Bane in could be good. Definitely, there is still the chance to do like a shove in the natural, especially with the Cybercore and denying air upgrades as a goal, and then shove more units in on the left. The problem is the Stasis Trap Storm Cannon fields are everywhere. So like, how do you... It's not like you catch his army out of position because his army's splitting really well as well. Yeah, this is hard for SERRAL to find a way in. For MAXPAX, you could also say, well, how do you finish the game as MAXPAX? And it's like, well, you don't really finish the game as MAXPAX, you shave your opponent to death. And that's something I think a lot of players, they go, well, how do you win? Like, yeah, MAXPAX isn't it? He's got to the late game. He's meant to be favored here. You don't just win. You literally slowly, calmly take expansions, secure them, try not to take damage to the big counters, and you slowly just shave off a unit with the Revelation and the Tempests. And you move in, you move out. You move in, you move out. You just shave off units. Try not to get jumped on by the Ultra Corruptor because this is only half your army. This is only half your army. You've only got 4 Immortals in total. 2 of them are on the left side, only 2 on the right. If he can land a Fungal and get on top with the Immortals... Oh, the Ultra's coming with the Fungal, but the recall! MAXPAX so quick with the recall. He only lost 2 units there, 1 Archon and 1 other unit. I'm not sure what the other unit was. That is a huge move for MAXPAX because the Ultra plus Fungal is so scary. Lurker Spore actually holds onto that position. The Ultra's going to go for a counterattack. They're happy to trade with cannons because they know they will smash through those cannons fast. But as the army comes back, they need to run. They need to run to that right side. Get out of there. SERRAL's a bit too committed. Stalkers. I was going to say, are they going to risk blinking on top? Because it's kind of dangerous to blink on top of Ultras, but he gets some. Lurker Harassment goes down to the bottom left at the same time. Double a Robo coming in. MAXPAX says, okay, well, if you're going to build Ultras, I'm going to need Immortals. Now, Immortals are 4 supply, Ultras are 6. That being said, you normally don't need as many Immortals as they have Ultras. If they have 8 Ultras, you could probably get away with 6 Immortals. Problem is, once they have Ultras out, you can't split your army. So here's the way Ultras work, guys. Ultras are a garbage unit when engaging front on into a choke point into a heavy Immortal force. They do nothing. They just die. However, what are they really good at is it makes it so the Protoss can't split their army up. Because if they split their army up, Ultras are so good at jumping on a small chunk of Protoss army, killing the High Templar. And the moment the High Templar and the Archons are gone, you've got nothing to defend the air from the Corruptors. So Ultra Corruptor is the OG noob solution to a late game Protoss army. And I say a noob solution. So who really popularized this style in the modern era of StarCraft 2? In 2021, when late game was very popular, lots of mass Void Ray styles, hold that thought, Nidus Worm coming in, it was basically Dark, who was the one player in the world, he's going to recall to deal with it. Dark was the one player who would actually regularly shut it down with Ultra Corruptor. Every other player played Broodlord, Infestor, Viper, Lurk, really fancy stuff. And Dark would just make 12 Ultras and 30 Corruptors and like just jump on the Protoss army. And I remember everyone was like, well, that doesn't work because as long as the Protoss doesn't give you an engagement, your army's bad. And he kept making it work. And that's why SERRAL's using it here. He's using it with a bit more finesse with the Infestors as well. He jumps on top, but I think this is a bad angle. He's got to get out of here because, yeah, you can see he's kind of filtering through this choke point here. The units of MAXPAX were cloaking. They were pulling back. There's always time warps that can go down as well. And you got to be very careful using that Ultra Corruptor army. If MAXPAX moves in the open and you surround him from 2 sides, especially if you land Blinding Cloud Fungal on the Immortals, you can destroy this army with Ultra Corruptor. But that's a big if. If you aren't able to sandwich this army from 2 sides, the Ultras get stuck behind each other, they can't land their hits, the Immortals will gun them down, the Storms will gun down all of the supporting units like Lings, Corruptors, everything else, and it looks really bad. So it's a very how does the engagement go down sort of army, and that's why SERRAL's realizing, look, it's not going to work. He knows what I'm doing. He's making heavy Immortal, and he's adding Broodlords. He's got 8 Broodlords coming in. He's got also 8 Lurkers. So 8 Lurkers, 8 Broodlords, 6 Infestors, and a few Ultras, Lings, and Hydras. Middle base does get sniped. Nice move there for MAXPAX. MAXPAX has taken that middle base as well. And he's going to recall to the left side. Oh, a combat recall. Nice quick reposition there. Just rotates the mothership as SERRAL is not ready for it. Or is he? Wait. There is a thingo there. He's got the stasis trap on that right side. The hatchery goes down. Nice fungals landing. Mothership's kind of damaged there from those spores, but she survives. She pulls back to live another day, and this is making it hard for SERRAL to defend his bases. I thought ley lines was an issue for him, but hold that thought. He's got a Nidus Worm up this time. Remember on ley lines, in that previous series, SERRAL kept on losing his 4th and 5th and 6th bases in the middle of the map, like 7 times, 10 hatcheries or something went down in that game. He kept losing them over and over again. But despite that, he was able to wear MAXPAX down in the late game with patience. Here on King's Cove, he is starting to lose a few of these exposed middle hatcheries, and that's a problem. It's also very hard for SERRAL to ever take any of these corner bases, any of these forward bases. So the real win condition for MAXPAX is if we just keep trading like this, where I'm ahead, 8,000 resources, I'm dancing with you, going around, and if I get to mine these middle bases eventually, or at least one of them, or equal numbers of bases, I'll probably beat you in the units lost. Now, there is one trap that sometimes Protoss players fall into. I'll mention just in the off chance we get there. If this goes to super endgame, just drag it out. Well, I'm already in kind of endgame, but, you know, mining out the map sort of endgame. Sometimes Protoss players, because they spend so much money on static defense, actually exhaust their mineral bank and actually run out of minerals. It's rare. Normally, gas is the shortage resource. That basically never happens for Zerg as well, unless they keep losing their bases as well, which, to be fair, SERRAL has been losing his bases. Nice army split here for MAXPAX. So just keep that in mind. Normally, gas is the most important resource, but that could shift if the game goes long enough, and minerals actually might be a shortage. And we don't really see that much spore spine for SERRAL. We used to see people build like hundreds of spore crawlers in these scenarios. I say hundreds, like 70, 80, 90 spore crawlers, which is a crazy number against the carrier armies. But because this is more of a Tempest army, they really don't help that much. You just need a few spores to like stop observers and help stop the mothership running in there. But it's not like when you're fighting against a 10 carrier army where having all those spores to shoot down the interceptors really helps so much. For those who don't know, spore crawlers only have 300 hit points now. It takes 4 Tempest shots with this Tectonic Destabilizers upgrade to take them down. +2 shields is on the way, +1 air armor. I don't know, man. This is going to be such a weird situation where if this was Raynor playing, I'd be like, well, it's forced to late game. Like, you're just going to be depressed at this point. You don't have a play. If it was any other Zerg than SERRAL, I'd say they have almost no chance from here because MAXPAX has shown he knows how to play late game very well. But that ley lines map from their previous series is the one thing giving me hope for him. He cancelled the hatchery and burrowed the drone up here in the top right. Does get spotted by the observer. Stalker blinks in and gets itself killed on purpose. Doesn't need that anymore. Good fungal. Good storms. Oh, nice recall. That's Mama. Mama recalls the entire army to the bottom left side. Only loses a couple units to the fungal catch. And this is the joys of playing late game PvZ for SERRAL. He catches the army out. MAXPAX hits the panic button, recalls the army, not just to get out of trouble, but also to punish MAXPAX. Hats off to him, though. Lurker Ultra Spore actually defends the base that gets recalled to. Not something I was expecting. And he's going to continue Nidus Worming. Now, Nidus Worming is really good for pulling the attention away of MAXPAX, potentially finding some good trades. Downside, every single Nidus Worm is 75 mineral, 75 gas. And when we're looking at a game that looks like it's going to mine out at least most of the map, if not all of it, every Nidus Worm can start to cost, right? Every time you throw away a Lurker, 100 minerals, 100 gas, it can start to cost. Actually, is it 100 minerals, 100 gas? That's not right. Because it's 100, 100, isn't it, to morph a Lurker? And they already cost 150. So is it 200 minerals, 150 gas for a Lurker? You guys can fact check that one. Don't have time to Google things right now. But we can see what happens. Ultra Lurker comes in, gets a few cannons, and then just runs away. That's the sort of moves you need as SERRAL. Broodlords in the middle as well. He's got Broodlord Corruptor and Vipers. He's added, oh, sorry, Viper. He's gone for the single Viper, guys. Lurker spine in the top right should be able to defend this base. SERRAL not really paying attention. There we go. Burrows the Lurkers. That should help defend those spines really well. Broodlord's breaking the cannons. On the left side, the Lurker Ultra actually zoning kind of well. And he's looking for fungals, making it really scary for MAXPAX. He's moving the Broodlords. He should pull north. I think SERRAL needs to pull north. He's staying a bit long. Those Tempests are going to punish him. But he lands a fungal. And that alone scares MAXPAX back. The amount of cannons he just killed is crazy. He just killed so many cannons. And look at that. SERRAL's closing the unit's loss gap. Keep in mind, it's mostly mineral damage he's doing to MAXPAX, not gas damage. but it's still effective, especially because what we talked about before. Units lost, does this show cannons? 29 cannons have been killed this game for 7 spines and 7 spores. So SERRAL's winning the static defense war. +3 air attack on the way for SERRAL. He's on 2-2 against 3-1 right now. Oh, here we go. He comes forward. This is a brave move. He's going to take some big storms. Viper has to run away. Does parasitic bomb the mothership, forces the time warp out. The Broodlords get some damage on the ground, but I think overall MAXPAX defended that really well. Doesn't really lose any of his core units. But at the same time, Lurker's in the bottom left. SERRAL's starting to overload him. If SERRAL could get some ultras over here and deny this base as well. Remember, MAXPAX doesn't have that much mining, and this has always been the late game issue that MAXPAX has versus SERRAL. In the past, it was always securing a 5th. On this map, it's securing a 6th and 7th and 8th base, which he's got them all up right now, but he is struggling to mine from them. And I think if SERRAL keeps up this mobility, he could really cause some problems. He's still got these Ultra Lurker. If he could get some on the right side, he'd be good. But I assure you, SERRAL does not know about this base. Yeah, otherwise he'd be over there already. So he doesn't know about that base. MAXPAX getting away with a cheeky one. Going to give him time to build more cannons and batteries in the middle and elsewhere. What I love the most is this protrusion, this creep schlong in the middle. He can use this as a high ground. I actually wish SERRAL moved some spores forward as well, because the Broodlords sieging on this base are going to be really good. And I feel like this base for MAXPAX might be more trouble than it's worth. As you can see, yeah, Lurkers are going to siege it from the high ground. Really nicely done, man. Really, really nicely done. Have we got any moderators in the chat? If you guys could go ahead and snooze the ad breaks as many times as possible, by the way. This game looks like it's going to go the distance. Ultra Lurker coming in. Cannon's starting to go down right now. Ultra Lurker starting to take that base. Here we go. Broodlords on the left side as well. Starting to go in as best they can. Ultra Lurker denying the right side. On the left, though, you don't want to lose these Broodlords. Tempest get one of them. Tempest take out one. Here comes the Infestors to try to scare back MAXPAX. I like the way SERRAL's bullying. He loses an Infestor, but he's looking like he wants to jump on that army. Whether or not he's actually willing to engage the army right now, I do not know, but I like that he's posturing in a sort of scary, confident way as if he is. You know, I'm thinking of like a little lemur, maybe like a meerkat. You know, like when a pack of meerkat, they all get up on their hind legs and they all in a pack and they all start making loud noises. And like the friggin' tiger or whatever runs away. It's like, damn, these little guys are crazy. I don't want to mess with them. That's kind of what SERRAL's army's doing. Don't get me wrong, if he does land the right spells, the Corruptors could jump on top and do really, really well. That's all right, mods. I'll fiddle with the ad breaks myself then. All right, Corruptor, Viper, Ultra. Let's fall back. Let's check the units lost. 5,000 resources. In MAXPAX, I think this base was a bit silly. I think, yeah, focus on the bottom left, split the map this way, and just make sure SERRAL doesn't deny that base, and you'll be good. Ultra Lurker coming in, but oh, great warp in there of a Zealot in the wall. Buys himself a few seconds so the Lings can't get in. And of course, Ultra's not going to be going through there. Storm's coming in as well as a time warp. Mama's going to go down though. Oh my gosh. Oh no. SERRAL. No. SERRAL. He loses so many Corruptors to time warp, Storm, Shield Battery. This is a trap so many Zergs have fallen into lately, guys. You've got to respect the time warp and the Storm and the Shield Battery. The number of times recently I've seen them just commit to that. That mothership was super worth trading for MAXPAX for that many Corruptors. Bad trade for SERRAL. Really good trade for MAXPAX using those Storms and the time warp excellently. And he denies the base on the left as well. MAXPAX all over SERRAL right now in this game. That Oracle almost goes down as well. Queen comes forward, kills the Oracle, and he backs away. SERRAL, though, how does he have enough Corruptors coming out? 16 Corruptors are here. There's a lot of Storms, though. Oh my gosh, he's too clumped. I think SERRAL might be too clumped here. Also, the Ultras are protected. There's a weird fight for SERRAL, a very weird angle. The Corruptors getting damaged by Storm, but Tempests are not that good at straight up fighting them. Let's see how this fight goes. I think this might just be MAXPAX putting SERRAL in the ground. It feels like it's good enough, but he's only got like one Archon left to deal with the Corruptors. I do think he probably should disengage, but 12,000 resources lost difference. Oh my lord, that is monumental, mate. That is a huge, huge difference. You guys didn't see anything. We are able to snooze only once. Oh, only once? Someone already snoozed. Oh my god. All right, let's hope that's it. All right, guys, we definitely didn't tab out there as we resume the cast to snooze the ad breaks. This game is absolutely epic. We may need to the Twitch autoplays ads, and I hate them playing during games. So I do have control if I manually play them, but we'll see how it goes. You can delay them, but you can't stop them, unfortunately. It is what it is. Those watching on YouTube, you guys get a nice ad-free experience, though. Well, no, you don't. There are ads on YouTube if you don't pay premium or use an ad block. but it's not the same as Twitch, where if you're watching on Twitch and an ad break hits you, you miss that 2-3 minutes. Normally it's a 3-minute ad break of gameplay. On YouTube, at least it resumes where it was, right? That's it's a little less intrusive than with live content. Queen goes down, Overlord over there as well. 13,000 resource loss difference. MAXPAX just has to... His gas bank's low. That's the only scary thing here. Nexus got killed, not cancelled. I don't think MAXPAX should be taking this base. I think MAXPAX should just take the bottom left and chill. Oh, good fungal. Broodlords, if they can get a volley on the High Templar, it could be good. Great feedbacks. He loses the High Templar, but he feedbacks a few of the Infestors, which is nice. Stasis traps don't really do anything. They just freeze those Broodlings. Carrier goes down. Corruptor's very happy with that snipe. And I gotta wonder, guys, is Carrier's the correct choice? I actually think Carriers are not a great unit. I'm always okay with someone building 2 or 3 to just make it a bit more complicated for the opponent on the AI. The units, you know, targeting Interceptors and stuff when the Carriers aren't too close, but here we go. Interceptors going to be launching? No, just the Tempest sieging here with this recall. Broodlord Corruptor flank coming from the left. I think SERRAL needs to spread a bit more before the next fight. His last few fights, his Corruptors have been a bit too clumped, guys. It's great to see him with 3-3-3-3 upgrades, you know, melee, range, carapace, air, and armor. There is +3 armor coming in now for MAXPAX to join his +3 plasma shields. That'll round out his upgrades completely as well. Zergling Hydra in the middle. Cannons are probably happy to take this trade. I think they can do A-okay there. A couple cannons go down. The Immortals will wander over as well now. This is where the composition gets a bit awkward for MAXPAX, because you've got 6 Immortals left over from the Ultra stage of the game. There's no Ultras. And they're decent versus Lurkers. They can tank okay and help protect your High Templar, but it's not as useful as they were when your opponent was actually using Ultras. I like this forward. This ledge we were talking about, man, it's a very annoying area. MAXPAX trying to take the bottom left. He has to... Oh no. Oh no, MAXPAX is doing the Maru mistake. Guys, we've talked to you guys about the Maru mistake he's made many times versus SERRAL over the last few years, where he tries to expand to 2 opposite sides of the map at the same time. SERRAL's problem right now is he can't beat MAXPAX army head-on, but he's an excellent split army player, an excellent multitasker, and look at the way he's picking at him and moving. Moving, picking, moving, picking. He's finding openings, and MAXPAX right now is gift-wrapping them for him by expanding to 2 opposite corners of the map. And why is it the Maru mistake? It's because he's played more late game against SERRAL than anyone over the last, 5-6 years of StarCraft, right? Maru has played so many big tournament moments, and they often have these nail-bitingly close late games. But there's always a point where Maru gets greedy and in the late game tries to expand to 2 opposite sides of the map. And you've got to realize, even when you're dealing with Broodlords, and the Zerg is not meant to be the more mobile player, it's SERRAL. He will always have better movement than just about anyone in the game. His ability to move his army around in 2 squads and find engagements is second to none. If you expand to 1 corner of the map and just consolidate that side, like if you want another base, take this and then try to take this base in front of it, I think is a way better call for MAXPAX. And I think it's a good call to give up that base on the right side. Corruptor Viper's here. Oh, does he see? He sees it. Mothership has crazy vision, by the way. I did not realize she could see that far. She sees as far as like an Overseer or Overlord. Damn. I mean, it makes sense. It's a mothership. There should be one dude inside the planet-sized spaceship with a telescope, right? Looking out the window. Because that's how it works, guys. It's like friggin' 17th century sailing in my mind. That's how space travel works. Mm-hmm. Bloody Captain Hornblower with a friggin' telescope to his eye. Is that what they called? An eyeglass? It's not a telescope, is it? Oh, here we go. Archon Tempest coming forward. Corruptor's going for it. Snap recall. He's going to lose a few Archons and a Tempest. I think an Oracle might have gone down as well. 3 observers. It's a good fight for SERRAL. SERRAL's still down. A solid 8,000 in the resources, but not too bad. You killed a lot of static there as MAXPAX, but you took a bit too long to get out. And that's something he's going to have to be careful about, because you can see his gas count's actually incredibly low. SERRAL has a crazy bank right now. And the gas bank especially. I mean, this base got denied a few times. He's not even mining the gas. These gases have not mined as much as they could have, right? I think SERRAL's been mining his side way less, with way less interruptions. There's full fresh gas there. But right now, he's got tempo in terms of the bank. If he can force a few more sloppy fights, he might be able to break MAXPAX here. Dude, this could be big. This could be really, really big right now. The Tempest's picking off a few of these units. He's going to pick off a few Zerglings, but, you've opened up the wall. MAXPAX should replace that, build a few cannons, otherwise his production could be in jeopardy. Got a few Oracles back here. 1 Oracle turns on the laser, the Zealots are there. Broodlords once again hitting. This middle base, I think, was a mistake from the start. I don't know if you guys agree with me, I think maybe this middle base was just giving SERRAL too many easy attack angles. Unless you were going to take the middle ridge yourself, which maybe that's what MAXPAX should have done, is focused on clearing the creep in the middle, breaking these rocks, and actually dominating. Because if he built cannon battery around here and just dominated this part of the map, I feel like from there, this whole top side of SERRAL is vulnerable. And I think if you can get your whole army together in one clump on that sort of high ground, maybe that should have been more of MAXPAX's goal rather than just splitting his army 50-50 to the far flanks, which is what he's been more focused on, right? And then doing the recall shenanigans. I would love to hear everyone's analysis on this because I think it's such a complicated late game that it's definitely not figured out in the current meta and on these maps. Oh, a Dux gets 2 Corruptors down there. Nice. Did he attack his own units up there? Don't know who those Broodlords were attacking. He built 2 Infestors. Yeah, he just killed his own units, I think, to free up supply for Infestors. He's going to build a few more drones now, though, to finish off that last little bit. Sarah's going to try and take this as well. So one of the big things is because Tempest, Oracle, like Storm, technically has the longer ranged army, whenever you can hold a central ridge, that's just like a concept we look for in late game, especially when you've got Tempest, is if you control a center high ground area, and you can use that because you're deep in the enemy territory, the enemy can't rotate between their bases. Like if SERRAL's defending up here and then he needs to get down here to defend and you control here, he has to go all the way around. And that's always a problem. You know what else is a problem? More Nidus Worms in the back door. SERRAL not giving up on those. It's been a few minutes. So he's going to sneak another Overlord down that right side. Ooh, this is a crazy series, guys. It's a very tense series right now. I mean, it's a very tense game 1, I should say. But what a way for them to start. Masters of the late game. A lot of players would say there's nothing Zerg can do against Protoss in late game, and SERRAL, he's been used a lot. What I am impressed with is he's really utilizing the speed buff on the Broodlords, right? Which normally we don't see get used, but he hasn't really stood his ground and fought very much with the Broodlords. He's kind of just been poking in, poking out, looking for engagements. I'd say the worst fight in the game is when he took that fight over here and stood his ground and tried to fight with MAXPAX, and that was a really bad one. But other than that, he's really using those as best he can. The game is just a gruel fest at this point, and this is really where we now get to see if MAXPAX can go toe-to-toe with a SERRAL who's... Oh, he wants to fight. He wants to draw MAXPAX's army into the middle and fight him, but MAXPAX could flank him from the right. Not much cannon battery here because that ledge keeps getting abused. SERRAL's going to try to get these resources, these ones, and here. SERRAL has a way bigger bank. It looks like he's miles ahead. Keep in mind, he's not. Now, what do I mean by that, guys? What I mean is his bases are more mined out. Now, he's saving minerals in the back, trying to mine the more dangerous resources first. But I think MAXPAX has a lot more gas, especially, to mine from his bases. Storm goes down, things run forward. So I definitely think because SERRAL's mining has been less interrupted, he's going to stop mining sooner. But, I mean, that also means he could sacrifice drones away to get a much bigger force out. Oh, abducts a carrier. Nice move. And this is why the Viper's big. Even just having 1 or 2 Vipers can be huge to just constantly find those pickoffs and make space a bit more demanding, a bit more constricting on the Protoss. I'd like to see MAXPAX transfer all of his workers to this forward base. A bit more concerned with that one. He is of course, still ahead, 8,000 in the resources lost. But if SERRAL's able to mine this base here, you can just look at how many minerals and gas there are on that. If he's able to mine that base out, that'll be huge. Thing is, MAXPAX, does he know about it? He doesn't. He's about to find out. He's got Zealots running around in little packs. 3/3 Adrenal Zerglings do destroy Zealots. Zealots hit the hatchery on the left. These Zealots pull back to the battery. On the right, sorry. Nice burrow. Broodlings will deal with that one. Those Zealots get cleaned up. Same time, a single Zergling was chasing the Zealots over here. That's a lot of Lurker Spore. Oh, careful, careful, careful. Okay, MAXPAX, careful, mate. Careful, mate. There we go. Good call for SERRAL to pull back those Lurkers. He was going to get busted by that recall. This hatchery will go down. SERRAL wisely gives it up, and he counterattacks with Zerglings. He's going to take out the cannons. The Zealots try to warp in, and the Zerglings will pull back. SERRAL just being very technical right now, but his burrowed drones get caught by the Observer behind the mineral line. Those go down as well. Bottom right side base is still mining for SERRAL. It's not mining a lot, but any resources he gets out of that are huge. More Zealots come in. Zerglings are there. The Zerglings are going to pull back, lure the Zealots into the open, and then go for the surround. Plus 40% attack speed. Nothing to be scoffed at. Left side, Zealots are there. Hatchery's going to try to rebuild. MAXPAX army feels like it's becoming more and more static. 8 High Templar, 5 Carriers, 9 Tempests, Mama, 4 Archons, 6 Immortals, and of course a trickle of Zealots in the mix as well. 3 upgrades all done there for the Protoss. Very nice. Hatchery's gonna have to get killed, actually. Nice. 275 minerals down the drain, plus the drone. Stasis traps on the right side. Is there no ground armor? No, he never made ground armor, actually. That's a really good point, chat. I was looking at this, I was like, it is weird. He has 1 less upgrade. And then I was like, wait. Yeah, it's because he didn't get ground armor. He's on +0 armor for his Immortals. Doesn't really matter too much for these units as he goes for an offensive recall. What? Massive recall to the front. Wow. Okay, he's got recall to get home, right? Yes, he does. He's got recall to get home. Lings in the middle will get cleaned up. He's part of his army got split. Those guys need to run home. Kill this hatchery and run home with those guys, and then get the rest of the army together and recall it out. Recall it out. Recall it out. Do not risk losing this army. He gets it. Nice sack on the army. He recalls it. MAXPAX gets those out. Gets to the middle. Yes, he loses the Nexus, but he kills the lurkers that were there as well. What tech did he take down? I think he got rid of the Baneling Nest. The Hydra Den and the Baneling Nest both went down. Hydra Den and Infestation Pit are being rebuilt. Baneling Nest has not been rebuilt yet, so I might not have realized that that went down. He's going to make the lair as well. That was the hive on the natural? No, he's just already making a lair in case he loses his main. So this is a backup lair that's going to become a backup hive. Nice. SERRAL, though, look at this dude. He's got this base mining. He's mining more of the map. MAXPAX, I actually think denying this base on the right needs to be his biggest priority. This left side base, he's still not transferred workers here as well. MAXPAX panicking a little bit in the late game. Like, he's got 36 probes. Where are they? They're mining off safe bases right now in the back. They should all be fully mining this base on the left, and he should be denying this right side base. He's going to try and take this one instead. He's not going to try to deny the right base. I mean, that's a choice, actually. It's not a bad choice, but there's no gas on this, only minerals. So that I think trading these bases, taking this base that SERRAL already took all the gas out of, and letting SERRAL take the fresh gas base, I think it's a big strategic mistake. MAXPAX, he doesn't have recall right now. He's got no supply for warpins. The Lings get in here. They're causing havoc on this base. Adrenal gland Zerglings so good. And here we go. Flank with the Corruptors. Flank with the Corruptors. They find Mama. Mama in the open. No time warp goes down at all. Storm does land, but only tickling those Corruptors. Dude, MAXPAX flailing right now. He's 42 minutes into a game against SERRAL. Who has experience at this level? SERRAL has hundreds of games experience grinding to the 40-minute mark, to the hour-long mark. He knows exactly what to do in these scenarios. MAXPAX, who has ever got this far against him? He used to die before the half-an-hour mark or win every time he played SERRAL. Now he's getting to the 43-minute mark. The map's getting mined out, and he's taking a base and focusing on it. But this is all a distraction. SERRAL is so happy because every second that this base mines, 1,500 gas there, 2,000 gas there. That's 3,500 gas left on this base. Every second that goes by, SERRAL is taking another 100 or 200 gas out of it, right? He's getting gas out of that base. It's actually his only gas mine. He's taking like 300 gas out a minute, isn't he? Which is fantastic. It's going to take him a while to finish mining the base. Another 8-9 minutes at least, more like 10 minutes plus, but Pig good at maths. Lurkerling on the left side. There's only a ground army defending. 27 probes for MAXPAX. All he really needs. I don't think you need much more than that. Here we go. Tempest Siege finally coming in. Denying that base is huge, and I think he should keep on doing that. Tempest should kill the hatchery, in my opinion. Infest is a pre-spread. Lurker Hydraling pre-spread as well. More Lings being built. Here come the Vipers. Ducks an Oracle and snags it. That's 300 resources down the drain. The Tempest are going to once again try to hit the hatchery, but they have to pull back as the Corruptor Viper comes forward. Look for the... Oh, Neural could be big, guys. MAXPAX doesn't know about the Infestors on the right side. They unburrow. They throw a Fungal out. Is it going to be worth engaging there, though? I don't think so. He's going to go for a Parasitic Bomb as well. Another Fungal. Oh, Fungal Parasitic Bomb. The Corruptors go in. As he tries to recall, he kills a lot of air units. SERRAL not only controls his base and keeps mining going, but he kills a bunch of air units. He's only down 7,000 resources in the units lost. SERRAL is bullying right now. Those carriers, I don't think are adding much to this army at all. I really feel like MAXPAX, he's got to try and siege this base on the right side, but SERRAL is the one who's asserting control over this area of the map. SERRAL showing that dominance in the late game. He has a 16,000, 17,000 resource bank. MAXPAX on a 6,000 resource bank. MAXPAX doesn't actually have much left. I was saying his map would take longer to mine out. Well, guess what? Maybe not. He's mined out everything except this bottom left corner. And now he's dry. He's not able to take that middle left base that has minerals left on it. It's 2k gas left in the bank. And MAXPAX needs to dig in his heels and find extreme efficiency at this point. He needs to attack this base. Oh, SERRAL! SERRAL! No, he's killing his own hatchery, guys. Oh, my lord. It only has 67 hit points. What a mad dog. He's like, I just wanted it to have 69. Because SERRAL cares about memes, guys, 100%. Game 1 in a best of 7 lower bracket finals. Lings will pull back. Archon, High Templar, Immortal on the left side as well. Zergling's going to go for that bottom left base again with a High Templar there. He could storm it. Decent storm. It's another storm there. And cannons should be able to finish those Zerglings off now that they're in one-shot territory. Extra Tempest building, that's going to take it to 10. So 10 Tempests. I do feel like 10 is too many. I think 8 is probably the perfect number, guys, where you've got enough to one-shot Corruptors, you've got enough to one-shot Broodlords, you know, all the important units, the Lurkers as well. You can even lose 1 or 2 and still one-shot, you know, the Broodlords. Oh, here we go! Time Warp goes forward. He's going to recall on the front. MAXPAX going for a big reposition. He's going to try and break the Lurkers, but he's got to keep the High Templar alive and the Archons. How many High Templar? He's got 3 High Templar. If those High Templar go down, it's a problem. The High Templar just got focused by the Lurkers, which means the air army can dive. There's no High Templar left in this army. There is only 1 on the map. I don't know where it is, guys. We're going to click that button. He's down here. He's down in the bottom of the map. There's no Storms guarding this army, just Archons. MAXPAX needs to pull back and get more High Templar guarding this army ASAP. He needs these High Templar to fill up on energy and rejoin, because right now those Corruptors and Vipers are looking hungry. Grabs himself a Corruptor for a carrier. Perfect trade. Gets himself just an interceptor there on the second volley. Nothing too scary. But damn, dude, if you lose those High Templar, your army is so much weaker as Protoss. You got to be careful. Double Abduct comes in, grabs a Tempest, grabs a carrier. A couple Corruptors go down again, but once again, well worth it. Only down 5,000 resources, and the units lost continuing to mine this right side base. Still 2,500 gas remaining. A lot of minerals getting taken down there as well. Zergling's going to go for a counterattack. Anything he can do to distract MAXPAX is going to be profit for SERRAL, because look at the way he's grinding him down. He's shaving him down little by little. And remember, that's what you're meant to be doing as the Protoss, is shaving him down. But I think MAXPAX got a little too caught up with the recall maneuvers, which are good maneuvers to mix in there. But like I said, he never took that center ridgeline and controlled the middle of the map and used that to kind of pick at SERRAL and limit his space. And I think if you give SERRAL space, he shows he is an expert with movement, positioning, and finding those angles to take those favorable engagements. And if you take the center of the map away from him, you restrict his ability to do that. That if you don't take the center of the map, the center of the board, and you focus on the corners, it can seem very powerful, but I think SERRAL showed how to deal with a player who focuses too much on the corners. Center board control, pretty important. Pretty sure it is in games like chess as well, right? Seems like one of those things, you control the middle, you kind of have the freedom to choose which direction you go, whereas if you're in a corner, you can get stuck there, even with recall. Dude, SERRAL with a big mistake after like 5-10 minutes of perfect play. He just lost like 7 infestors there. Walking into Cannon Storm feedback, that is a huge mistake. He spends a lot of his gas bank on those 8 new infestors. That's 1,200 gas wasted. That is... Can't do that anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong, MAXPAX doesn't have a lot of room for error himself, but he's only got 300 gas left to mine, and then he's done. So he's got like 600 more gas, but he has a max Protoss army that technically, with the perfect fights, can be extremely efficient. He does need observers, though. He's going to build a few observers, and those are 75 gas a pop. But this is SERRAL is using creep spread to force gas. So a mineral-only investment, queen spreading creep, forcing observers out, makes it really hard for MAXPAX. Now, Zealots in decent numbers can defend the Zerglings, but you need decent numbers, which he doesn't have, so he's going to have to recall something down here. Yeah, it's that army that was covering the bottom left. SERRAL's so active with his Zerglings. I like it, because so many people want a game-winning move when they go for these counterattacks, not SERRAL. SERRAL's happy to take anything he can. Stasis Trap does get 2 of those infestors. Feedback's landing, I think, mostly on Overseers, though. I don't think that was on any important spellcasters. High Templar barely surviving. Zealots on the right side finally killed that Reddit Point Hatchery. Gets himself a Spore Crawler, but he lost the Observer already, so he's not able to get in and kill those Lurkers. New Hatchery gets built immediately. 1,600 gas remaining on that gas. SERRAL happy to add that to his bank account. The longer this goes, with SERRAL mining that right side, MAXPAX not even getting these minerals on the left, and his last 100 gas now being mined, MAXPAX needs that extremely efficient fights. Changelings, infiltrators in the army. MAXPAX spots them, clicks them down. Another infiltrator there. These are giving Serral vision, guys. And that's important because he catches the army. Broodlords and Fungals getting chained. Takes out a few of those ground units. You can see the Broodling damage, not what it used to be, though. Doesn't kill as much as he would have back when those Broodlings nibbled a bit harder. Does get himself a few units, though, and every unit matters. MAXPAX can't be affording to lose units for free. Gets a Corruptor there. You see, that's what you want. Pick off a unit with the Tempests. Move in, move out. Shoot, move, shoot, move, shoot, move. Serral still has this right ridgeline. Lurkers and creep over there. A big creep protrusion. Lurkers reinforcing it. Main base, hive, and tech is exposed. But remember, he already rebuilt some tech on the right side. I don't think he made a second hive, but he's got the lair ready so he can click it up whenever he wants to. This hatchery could go down as well. MAXPAX looks so cautious. This is the thing. Serral's so good at landing those infestor spells on you, those viper spells. You start to get a bit paranoid. Here we go. Sends a single High Templar forward. The reason he doesn't go in a clump is because then they can get hit by Fungal. Technically, High Templar feedback has longer range than Fungal, but because Fungal is a big area, you can actually hit them with the edge of the Fungal and kind of land Fungals on the High Templar without getting hit by feedback. Well, you used to be able to do that. I think, I'm not sure, maybe someone in the comments can let us know. I think maybe because feedback did get +1 range, right? Or did they revert that? I'm trying to remember. At some point, I don't know what feedback's cast range is right now. If they ended up going through with the +1 range a few patches ago on feedback, then it might actually be able to always outrange the Fungal, assuming you both, you know, cast at the same time. Creep getting taken down over there. Zealots on the left. Jamie, look that one up. Feedback is 10, Fungal is 10. Okay, well, Fungal's got way more range then, yeah. All right. I didn't think Fungal was 10. Wait, there's no way Fungal has 10 cast range. Really? I don't think Fungal's 10 cast range. Is it? Someone fact check that. I'm pretty sure Battle Warrior just made a number up off the top of their head. A lot of people, this is the thing you learn when you post things on the internet, you ask people questions. People will always answer off the top of their head. And then they'll look it up and go, oh, I was wrong, but they won't correct themselves. So I'm like, I don't know, man. That sounds like really long range. We'll see. Corruptor's coming over. MAXPAX is clearing up a lot of the vision now. These hatcheries, they're not important, right? It's just a few minerals there. It doesn't really matter. It's dangerous whenever he's on creep like this, but he is removing map control from Serral. Problem is, Serral doesn't care as long as he's mining that right side base. He abducts the Oracle, gets it. Storm comes down. Zergling's going towards the main. If MAXPAX has no gas income, isn't this over? Well, it's over if Serral takes a good, efficient fight. Time Warp goes down. Storms as well. The Broodlords, though, with the Fungals. The Fungals catching the High Templar and the Archon, so he can't disengage. MAXPAX cannot disengage. Lands good Storms. The Time Warp wears off. Corruptor Viper pulling away. The Broodlord's taking a lot of damage. He needs to get rid of those High Templar and Archons, so the Corruptors and the Vipers can engage. The Corruptor Viper goes in. The Parasitic Bomb Fungal is big. Another Fungal lands. The Corruptors are right on top of this army, and MAXPAX army gets wiped. MAXPAX needed a perfect engagement, but Serral, his Infestor micro is absolutely insane. That is so very good. Chat has confirmed it is 10 range on Fungal. That's really awesome. Okay, thank you for the heads up, guys. Let's look at this fight. I really want to break down this fight because this is a crazy way to start the series. I said, you want to veto this map. I can't believe Serral didn't veto it. Then I realized, well, he's Neon Violet's just as bad. Giant maps, really easy for Protoss to defend. But look at the way he's done this. Notice the way he always sends like just 1 or 2 infestors forward usually. In this case, they're just only 1 or 2 infestors barely getting in range. And he's pulling back his Corruptor Viper. Why? Because he doesn't want them to get hit by storms. Now, his Broodlords actually go a bit too far forward here. And that's because, where's his Overseer, guys? He's pulled his Overseers too far back. This is why often Serral will have an Overseer that's just following his Broodlords, not on his Corruptor hotkey. So he actually kind of messes up for a moment here. Watching this from Serral's camera, and he's like, oh god! Oh no, and he quickly turns around and pulls back. The Storms start to land, the Archons land a hit or two, and he throws a defensive couple of Fungals there, which stop those Archons. And then he kind of goes around the edge of the Time Warp, throws some Broodlings down, and you can see he runs in, throws another Fungal at the edge of range. Feedback lands, but it was only on 1 Infestor, right? Because the way he moves in and moves out on the edge of range, if you just march your Infestors in, they all get popped. But he always hovers on the edge of range with those Infestors, and he makes it really hard for MAXPAX to engage. Now, this one here, this guy's name is Hero Infestor. He ran really far forward to throw a Fungal. Didn't get the Fungal off. He just gets blasted, right? But the other Infestors are mostly pulling back. The Corruptors go in. They realize, oh god, we're too far forward. They try to pull back. Time Warp runs out. The Broodlords, though, are landing hits on High Templar, which is big. And the Viper just landed a parasitic bomb in the middle of there. And someone landed a fungal as well. I don't even know who landed the fungal. Somehow he got a fungal off in the middle of that. And notice the infestors are coming forward. He tried to throw another fungal, but the feedback landed first. And then he throws this fungal from this guy. The other infestors are pulled back, but one infestor throws another fungal. That lands. I think it's probably 2 parasitic bombs in there because he had 2 Vipers. And the Corruptors, they've all been bruised, but not that badly. They're at like 180 life, right? They're all at, pretty much every single Corruptor is on 182 life because all they took was like a little bit of storm damage. And whilst there isn't much left for you, there isn't many Archons and High Templar left, right? He's got 1 storm on this High Templar there that's about to die. This High Templar here has a storm, and there's only 3 Archons as well. So he says, okay, now's the time to go. I've already damaged the army really hard. We've got Parasitic Bomb on top. Charge with the Corruptors. Because the Corruptors will take the fire, the Infestors can probably get a bit further forward as well. Another Fungal lands. And then another Fungal will land. And Parasitic Bomb damage is huge. And he just moves on top. And even though he's taking massive Archon Splash, it also means the Parasitic Bomb will kill the Interceptors. The Interceptor count drops very rapidly because the Interceptors are kind of flying around. I was going to say swimming around. Flying around the Corruptors, taking damage as they go. And everything just gets blasted. That was a perfect engagement for SERRAL at the end of a crazy game. At the end of it, he was only down 3,000 resources lost. He had huge bank to rebuild. MAXPAX had nothing. And that's just excellent play. Good dancing for him, using the creep that gave him vision here, using the advantages of the fight, giving the Infestors more movement speed as well, dancing in and out, landing parasitic bombs and fungals. And when you get caught by fungal parasitic bomb as Protoss, it is a nightmare. Beautiful game 1 victory for SERRAL. All right. MAXPAX unable to keep up with SERRAL in the late game in game 1, but doesn't really need to let it get there, right? I mean, I think Abyssal, a bit more of a compact map, and he might be able to do a bit more of a frontal pressure. With the speak of ridge lines, taking high grounds, you take maybe this center area, push in towards this area all game, right? Get this ridge, push in here. You can do some great stuff. SERRAL's going to go for the 15 Overlord. He's going to see this probe, and he's going to have to take a third. So I expect him to build 2 more drones here, guys. And there we go, yeah. 2 more drones, because he knows he has to go 17 hatchery. SERRAL was trying to play greedy here, hoping that MAXPAX would not, would not actually come for the block. But he does have to take the third. Not optimal for SERRAL, but he's okay with it. MAXPAX had to send a probe across at the start, and that is expensive. A lot of mining time you lose when you do that. This probe's going to go mine over there. Is SERRAL, is MAXPAX microing his workers, I wonder? I wonder if SERRAL micros his workers that much. I guess when there's a probe harassing, you kind of get too busy to do the fancy drone micro. And that's a 1 minute 12 spawning pool. Very quick, very crisp there. Yeah, I mean, I guess this is the power of the 15 Overlord, because I actually thought the minerals were kind of inefficient on this map. With the 15 Overlord, you get a bit more minerals earlier, and it feels like that spawning pool does get sped up. Big, how do I improve late game macro? I feel overwhelmed after 3 bases. Go kill them. Memorize what production you need. Have a set list of what you need for your 3 or 4 base setup. Make all that production and upgrades, and then go kill them. That's it. Most people, the problem is they get to late game, they have no plan. You don't need to know exact supply counts, but you should have a list. Every build order, like for MAXPAX, right? Let's talk about this in MAXPAX terms. So MAXPAX goes... For oracles, he goes blink, he does some blink pressure. And then it's not like he's like, oh, it's 6 minutes 32, build a Templar Archives. Or it's not like he's like, oh, 112 supply, build a Templar Archives. No, he just kind of has an order. There's like a list. It's like a shopping list. That's what your build orders start out very like, oh, exactly this supply, do this. Like, oh, I got to go 2 minute 20 Stargate, right? As the game goes on, it's just a shopping list. And you just need to fill all items on that shopping list. So how do we do that? By the way, his probes, he's only got 1 worker on this patch. Slight bit of inefficiency there. He's got 3 on this far right patch, which means it's going to run out very fast. Small mistake that will stack up over time. He'll go, okay, I need Templar Archives, 4th base, 2nd Forge. I'm only on 6 gates at that point, so I need 2 more gateways. Then he'll go Robo after that, or somebody, he'll probably go Robo before 2nd Forge, is what he's been doing lately. Obviously, it depends on whatever your build order is, but you have a set order you follow every game. And then you'll be like, okay, after Robo will build an Observer, and then a Warp Prism, or an Observer, then a Warp Prism, then a Mortal Production. Then we'll add a Fleet Beacon, and then we'll build a Mothership with the Fleet Beacon, and then we'll add a 2nd and 3rd Stargate and start building Tempests. And at that point, you're on 4 bases, you've got all the production you need for the entire game, or maybe you add 4 more gateways at some point as well. So you go up to 12 gateways, 3 Stargates, and a Robo. Or maybe, oh, he's going Ultras, I'll add a 2nd and 3rd Robo. And from that point on, all you need to do is make upgrades and focus on your army. And this is something a lot of mid, low-level players just never do, is the later the game goes, they like, oh, I'm in a macro game. And they think that means they need to just be staring at their base the whole time, haphazardly, randomly making upgrades at random times. They're like, oh, I'll make a double spire. I'll make a lurker den. I'll make an infestation pit. And you can see these production tabs that just have like 7 upgrades that don't really have any purpose going at once. And they're just kind of building everything with no real purpose. And I always say, like, no, you should still have timing attacks in mind. You know, don't try to play a completely defensive macro game. If you're playing to 3 or 4 base stage, still think of it in terms of, okay, I like to hit a Lurker Viper timing, or I like to hit an attack with Storm and my first 2 Immortals and Stalkers, and I send a Prism in the main and warp in 12 Zealots at the same time as I poke around at the front looking to kill their bases. And, you know, if you still have an attack timing in mind, it just keeps you focused. Whereas most players, they think macro game in StarCraft means, oh, I'm just playing reactive. I'm just doing random things. And as someone who's coached thousands of players, my biggest pet peeve is coaching players who want me to tell them how to be good at a macro game. And they think that means they're never allowed to attack, number one. They think it means they need to react nonstop rather than actually have a good build order they've refined. And I'm like, that's not how StarCraft works. You have a good build order, you have solid checklists and shopping lists you go for, and then you learn how to adapt on top of that. And that's where you get the gains, and that's where you get the really clever adaptive play. Dude, good surround for SERRAL. Oh yeah, very good surround. He's gonna get both Zealots and the adapt. This is a fantastic trade, guys. Look at that. I mean, yeah, it's negative, but he lost an Overlord and a drone, remember? So that's really where the negative cost came from, was that Void Ray, which coming back in, the Queens do push it away. And the Void Ray will get pushed back. Now, this has pushed SERRAL's vision into a corner. So look at SERRAL's vision, guys. Notice he doesn't have Overlords around his base. It's all just creep spread because the Void Ray is picking those off. But it's just 1 Void Ray, 1 Oracle into charge. And Templar Archives for MAXPAX. MAXPAX down a few probes. Starts a shield battery on the 3rd base. Very necessary. That shield battery on the 3rd does so much at the top level to stop Zergling run-bys from being as impactful. Alright, probe's gonna go down. Lings will pull back. Very nice. Strange comments in the Twitch chat right now. Why did the stream get smaller? I don't know what that means. You mean viewership? Why is viewership not as high right now? You'd need to go ask the people that aren't watching. Viewer numbers go up and down every day. I don't focus on that stuff too much, mate. Oh, you've got like an ad pop up on the side? Yeah, unfortunately I can't control those. Sorry, guys. Don't think there's a way to turn off those Amazon ads that pop up on the side. If you get Twitch Turbo or you sub to the stream, you shouldn't get those. Void Ray goes down. Ooh, good catch, good catch. Roach speed. Overlord speed. Whoa, SERRAL. Is he going German Taxi? He's had a good start, guys. He's had a good start, but this map is hard to kill Protoss because this choke point's very narrow, even if you break through rocks. And attacking in here, Protoss can kind of either fall back into this area or into that choke point. Really hard to break them down. But it's a Zealot style, and Zealots are really bad versus a massive Roach Queen because they charge in and get themselves killed, whereas Stalkers can shoot and pull back and this sort of stuff. He's going to go 2nd Robo and Immortal production as MAXPAX, but man, this is so many Roaches. He needs to get out of here. He sees only a few Roaches. Now he sees those Roaches on the right. He's got to run. And at this point, I think MAXPAX should realize that is a lot of Roaches for 7 minutes in the game. Run home, Chrono Immortals. He's trying to make Psystorm as well. If you can get out Psystorm, it's big. Going Psystorm used to be a bad idea against these pushes, but with energy recharge, if you can get out like 3 or 4 storms, that's huge. And you know, you do an energy recharge, you get another 2 storms available. It's big. It really helps you out. Okay, Pylon coming in right now. I think he should have energy recharged the High Templar, not the Oracle, but he doesn't realize. He doesn't realize it's German Taxi. He doesn't realize. Oh, we just refilled an Oracle. Where are the stasis traps? Okay, throws one on the right. He needs more stasis traps to buy him time. 4th base will never survive here. MAXPAX has no idea what's going on, guys. Prism goes in at the same time. We're on his first-person view camera. He's trying to run home. I think he senses something's up. He should realize it's non-stop Roach production. Where's the rest of the army? Where's the extra Queens at home? Well, guess what? They're unloading on the front. They're creating a highway of creep right now, and that's going to be so hard for MAXPAX to stop. Down 70 supply right now. It's a Roach army. Roach armies are rather pleb. They don't scale very well, but look at that. Ling drop in the natural natural. Cannon Probe will deal with it. Nicely done. Stasis Trap only gets a single roach to start. Storm still 10-15 seconds away. Archon starting to get focused. Good move for SERRAL. The Archon goes down really quickly. Biles pushing back the High Templar and the Immortals. There's just not enough units here. He needs to be in a choke point. One of the High Templar goes down. The other one's getting focused as well. SERRAL takes down the High Templar before Storm is ready. Storm's about to be ready. He could warp in a new one and recall it potentially. He's trying to recall something to this third base. Who knows what that is? It's a Warp Prism. I don't know how much a Reddit point Warp Prism is really going to help here, though. Tries to save an Immortal on the left. Not able to save it in time. MAXPAX caught off guard here. It was a good opening for SERRAL, and now he's going for a decisive finish. He did this once in the first series. It did not work out, but after winning a macro game, shutting everything down in this early game, SERRAL is looking good, and he just stomps his way through MAXPAX with a classic timing attack. MAXPAX did not realize what was happening in that game, and he was caught with his pants down. All right, guys. We've got MAXPAX offering the good luck, have fun. SERRAL doesn't answer it, and that's because he's basically, those who don't know, I asked SERRAL the other day, like, why do you never GG or good luck, have fun against MAXPAX? And he said he's a dirty animal and I hate him. No, just kidding, guys. Pretty sure SERRAL is so laser focused thinking about his build right now that he just is not thinking about it at all. Now, this is again an early pro. MAXPAX does not want to let him take his natural. Now, this is Whispers of Gold. It's a small aggressive map. If there was a map to follow up a block with a double adept pressure, try to get some early tempo, not just play the passive style, this would be it. SERRAL, 2 more drones in the production tab. Yeah. When you see that probe early enough to block, you go take the third. Now, interestingly, guys, why would you take this third rather than the other third? I feel like the advantage of this third is you get creep further forward on the map, and it's better to walk queens off than the other third base. Downside, Oracles can come in the left, hit the minerals, or go into the main, or the natural kind of Maynard path, the mineral walking path, very, very easily and cause that damage. So, personally, not the biggest fan of the forward third base, but I think there's a reason. Oh, apparently there's 6 games left at EWC. I heard people say it was only 1 game, not 2 to be left to be announced. They've announced 19 games for EWC, but we have... you think StarCraft 50% chance, says Gengen. I think... okay, I was saying 30%. I'm hoping we get StarCraft there. Honestly, for me, if StarCraft isn't in EWC, yes, I'd be upset, but we need an RTS. If there's no RTS, man, that would just make me sad. And no chess does not count. It's not an RTS. Like, I've never... Seriously, there is nothing more depressing than reading RTS fans and when they panic. When there was no early announcement and then they announced chess for EWC, I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, they just want to branch out to a different game. That's fun, right? And I look at like social media, people are like, oh my god, they've replaced StarCraft with chess. Chess is taking the RTS slot. Ugh. And those people like crying about it and being like, I can't believe EWC would do this. I'm like, where are you guys getting this from? Like, you think chess is a real-time strategy? You know what RTS stands for? Real-time strategy, right? They're like, yeah, chess is taking the real-time strategy spot. And I'm like, where is your source? Like, a guy said it randomly as a joke, and you guys all believed it. Like, it is crazy how emotional and panicked people get when they don't have information. I get it. Like, people want Starger to be there. They're worried it'll be bad. But people have been just basically in a complete absence of information. People will just make things up, and then everyone will believe whatever anyone says because it's the only thing they've heard. So they're like, well, they must have a source. It's like someone just made something up. There's no way. It's a turn-based game as well, by the way. So get out of here, mate. The lowest standard I would accept is if they get like Civilization. They do like a grand 4X strategy game. I'd be like, at least you have strategy games. But I feel like there aren't really many other strategy games that are like pure strategy or RTS or grand strategy in the lineup for EWC. And I think that would be a bit of a travesty. Like, don't get me wrong, I like soccer. I like car soccer, you know, Rocket League as well. I like Dota. I like all these other games they've got. I like Counter-Strike, but you can't be ignoring strategy games, man. So much of gaming history is there. Oh, SERRAL. He hasn't taken any damage yet. Now he finds the adepts. Good catch. Nice positioning in the corner. I think SERRAL commits, though. Yeah, the Oracle only gets 2. Only 2. That's worth. Super worth. Oracle's going to chase him back. Remember, you can leave the Oracle on much longer these days because it does get that as those energy refills. Yeah, he hasn't even turned it off. You can see how it's shining there, guys. He's happy to drain energy. This is the joy of the modern Oracle opening. Not as afraid of losing that energy. Might hang around for a second here, but nah. He's so weak. He knows the queens will be there soon, and he's got to run away. He knows he couldn't go for that drone because the queens could have been there to guard it. Third Nexus coming up for MAXPAX. Now, how do you fight back on Whispers of Gold, guys? Like I said, it's a small map. Good map for being aggressive. How do you proactively keep yourself safe against something like SERRAL did in the last game? And SERRAL might even do something way faster, right? What if he does a 50 drone or 45 drone German taxi or queen walk even? You could just walk 4 or 5 queens across, break these rocks. Look at how close this path is. If you break these rocks, you're into that third so very quickly. And that's just awkward. Oracle does get refilled with energy there. Nicely done. We're about to see some meat, ladies and gentlemen. Chunks of meat go floating down there as the Stalker does take down the Overlord. Forge and Twilight goes down after third and fourth cast. Very standard setup. Now, MAXPAX might just play extra safe. He might just be like, yeah, I'll build more stasis traps, make more Stalkers. If you go 6-gate blink, you're pretty safe against most attacks. And just say, well, I'll just get forward with 6-gate blink, get in his face, and that will keep me safe through aggression. And that's like a very common way to play. Whereas I think a lot of amateur players, when they're worried about aggression, they kind of turtle up and sit at home defensively, whereas a lot of high-level players will say, well, if I'm worried about aggression, I can't just sit at home. And then what if he's being greedy? I'm way behind. Instead, they'll say, well, to counter his aggression, I'll go for heavy pressure of my own. And that should scout what's coming. Give me time to react. Get the forward position, you know? +1 melee comes in. It's not the fastest +1 melee. Fourth hatchery on the right side. And that creep spread is actually really nice. So this is the advantage of the forward hatchery that I was mentioning earlier. Oracle comes in, gets itself another drone. Nicely done. Oracle on the right. Probably going to snip the creep off. Kind of necessary here. Meat, you say? You're on the main monitor now. Oh, thank you, Pilo. Yeah, Overlord meat. That's the meat we were talking about, but it's, might have been hoping for something a bit weirder there. Speaking of which, I love that the mining operation continues on this map while the Protoss and Zerg are fighting. The Terran automatons are like, dude, we've still got to mine these rocks, man. We got to mine rocks and build Thors. Like, that's our job, you know? Doesn't stop for anyone. There's like a crashed battlecruiser on the ground. They still don't stop. Wow, the Oracle's got 3 more drones. Sorry, guys. I thought they were just going to run out because SERRAL was so aware of them. But nice move for MAXPAX. That brings him up to 10 drones. Really well done after those first adepts got surrounded. 6-gate blink into Psystorm. Solid style. I don't think SERRAL's going all in, though. He's on 1, 2, 3, 4 gases. He's droning his 4th and building a 5th. He's building a few roaches and lings. Ready to deal with the blink. 71 drones is a pretty high count. I think if SERRAL just ling counters, masses roachling at home, he'll be in a good spot. Finds himself an adept. Good surround there. 1 zergling for an adept. Pretty darn efficient trade, isn't it? Thank you, Pilo, for the sub. Appreciate it. Piggy playing any Mechabellum later today? No. We've got... It's all in the title. Tempest Rising demo. We've got a whole lot of demos for different RTS games on sale at the moment we're going to be playing later. Stalkers coming forward. Good micro so far. Just picking off units. SERRAL's on 74 drones, though. No 4th started for Protoss. This is scary. Guys, when a Zerg has 74 workers this early, they can make so much army. You need to get really good efficiency. And look at that. Intercepts the Stalkers on the backside. Oh, actually, no. He ends up going for the surround, but the stasis trap. So well done with that stasis. Units lost tab. Look at that. 1,600 for 400. 4-1 in favor of MAXPAX. 4th base finally starts. Zergling does kill the probe there. I think SERRAL can afford this trading for a little bit, but he's got to shut this down now. And the question is, how does he do that? There's more stasis traps. Another big stasis trap. SERRAL still goes for it with the +1 melee ling flank, but it's not very many Zerglings. The other lings do come out of that stasis trap, but he has to fall back. And now the Oracles are out of energy, but they've done their work. 1,400 resources ahead in the units lost. And he delayed the 4th massively, though, did MAXPAX, in order to get that value. 4 more gateways building in a robo. So he's going to go 10 gateway storm and add robo transition behind it. 4th base under assault from the Zerglings, but the Oracles will come over. He only turns on 1 Oracle. That's the way to do it. Doesn't want to waste his energy. Really well done there by MAXPAX. Infestation Pit only now goes down for SERRAL. SERRAL is still only on 4 gases, guys. He can make about 40,000 Zerglings with this style. Dude, he could do a mass Zergling attack. Oh, he's going to mass drop the main with like a few roaches and mostly Zerglings, and then he can attack the left side 4th at the same time. And this is such a mineral-focused attack. He's only on 4 gases. This is genius. And it's so good on this map. That main base is wide open for drops. MAXPAX, he doesn't see it, guys. He does not know about that drop that's coming in right now. Mass lings on the left. Unfortunately, the stasis trap does get him. Probably should have split ahead of that, but he distracts over there. The Overlords need to go in. They're in pylon vision. They're in pylon vision. Okay, SERRAL finally pulls the trigger on that. He's pulled the army out of position. The Ravager Ling pulls him over. He's going to go for that Doom drop in the main base. He even brings Queens. Wow, I did not realize he was bringing Queens in with this one. Crazy drop for him. Storm is done. Those Storms could be effective on those Zerglings. Let's see. High Templar not landing a Storm. He finally gets the Storm down on the Zerglings and cleanses them, and good evacuation. But his third base is under assault as well. Morling Roach running in. These are pretty cheap units for SERRAL, so it's not too bad if he loses a heavy Zergling army, right? He's going Hive and Hydra Den behind it. He's picking off units. He's killing cannons, killing probes. He's not doing like critical game-ending damage, but 12, 13 workers stacking up. Main base has been cleared up now. The Ravagers and Overlords and Queens pushed back from there. The Overlords got out, but the Queens and the Ravagers went down. At the end of the day, a hold is a hold. Still ahead 2,000 in the resources lost. MAXPAX has 4 bases, 65 probes, and I think he's happy with that. It was a scary moment. He lost some gases, lost a few pylons. I don't think he lost any buildings. No, just the gases and pylons. No important production or tech structures. And he's like, okay, just survive, build cannons, batteries, spread your army across the front. And SERRAL, it was a cool idea, a 4-gas mass Ling drop with a handful of Roaches and Queens, but didn't quite find the damage he was looking for. And now those Roaches and Ravagers get caught. Ling's on the left. This is where the real damage could go, but Storm shoves it back, and only 4 Roaches escape from the right side. SERRAL on the losing end of these trades as his Hive and Lurker Den comes online. That wasn't a German taxi. That was a Finnish dump truck. Yeah. It's actually, it makes me think of like in Sweden. I think when they graduate high school, they all drive around town in these in summertime in these big the garbage trucks. They basically have like party garbage trucks. I don't know what this tradition is called. Maybe a Swedish person can let us know. We always see it whenever I've been at DreamHack Summer over the last decade. I'm like, why are there teenagers with loud music blaring driving around in garbage trucks? That's essentially one of those just pulled up to the Protoss base and unloaded 30 drunk Finnish dudes. High Templar, Stalkers, and Archons trying to pull back. Great stasis traps. I mean, the thing is, it does actually save the units from the Storm, but at the same time, Zealots hit the right side, and a massive warping in the main. How do you defend this? You just don't. The Queens are getting overwhelmed. SERRAL's main army getting pushed in, and MAXPAX with an excellent hold against that Finnish garbage truck, Finnish dump truck maneuver. It hit pretty early as well, right? What time did that build hit? I think it was like just after 8 minutes. Maybe a little bit later. It was more like 9 minutes, right? Yeah. Yeah, this was a 9-minute timing. Maybe could have unloaded a little bit faster there. I think he waited a bit too long. And in pylon vision. Remember, pylons have extra vision now, guys. That got patched. So that gave him time to react. That gave MAXPAX time to move back. He was blocked by his own Stalker in the wall for a second. But I think that helps him, you know? That extra few seconds does matter. I love the Contaminate on +2. But really good defense for MAXPAX to just run the probes, fall back to his ramp, while also defending the front. Great play for MAXPAX, and he gets a point on the board. All right, MAXPAX has got a point on the board, puts the brakes on SERRAL's truck, and manages to slow him down. And now he's going to do a no-scout opening. And guess what? SERRAL finally rushes down here with a drone, ready to go for a 14 hatchery. But he's going to end up building another drone and going 15 hatch, seeing no probe. So this is the one time where SERRAL's like, I am not taking a third base. That third base is way too far away. And he's just going to take the natural instead. But yeah, it's kind of interesting because I feel like lately we've seen a meta of Protoss players chronoing probes, not blocking bases, just even gate scouting. Even Hero is gate scouting a lot, or just playing no scout. MAXPAX is a big fan of always going gate before gas, no matter what. Even though a lot of people do prefer gas first. I know Harstom's a massive fan of the gas first build order. Now, you can see these probes. Every now and then he queues them up to get a little bit more mining. You can see the green line. Because if you can do that micro, they will mine a little bit faster as they don't decelerate as they approach the minerals, right? You tell them to move next to the minerals, then start mining. Just makes them move slightly faster. Very tiny micromanagement to give MAXPAX a couple more minerals. And that 20 core, 20 Nexus, 20 core goes down. Now, El Dorado's an interesting map. You've got this gold minerals down here. You open this up, you can take a third and a fourth, expand towards each other. I've seen SERRAL do it in the past. I actually think expanding north is the better play for Zerg. But you do need to open this path up so they can't abuse it. It takes 2 trips and 2 trips on each one of these to open it up. And then you've got to open up these middle minerals as well with just a single mineral trip. And that'll, of course, be the 3 different angles where you can open up the south side of the map. Sometimes, though, we see both players just expand to the north and just play a very straight-up game where almost all the fighting is kind of along this corridor in the center of the map. Adept getting built, no chrono boost. Stargate comes out, full chrono on probes. Doesn't get greedier than this, ladies and gentlemen. Pig, are you casting this off replays? Absolutely. This was played 2 days ago, I believe. We're going to be casting the grand finals. So the winner of this versus the winner of the upper bracket tomorrow. Queen drops a creep tumor. So SERRAL really loves this third. I think Rainer was the one who just expanded along the top left. MAXPAX playing a bit more standard as well. He's just going to leave that closed off. Fair enough. I mean, the problem is you will have your main open to drops. We know SERRAL likes spamming drops at the moment, so that's one of the things I'd be looking for. Adept shading forward. Props to you for not watching the replays before casting. It's just not as fun for me. I mean, it obviously creates worse content if I know what's going to happen as well, because I can foreshadow a little bit too much, like without even meaning to. But and obviously I often know the results of who won, but I try to hide the replay length, not know the order of who won what game here or there. Try to avoid knowing the overall scoreline, even though I usually know who won as well. Just makes it a bit more interesting because I'm a bit more curious about what's happening. And I think curiosity is personally what I enjoy when I'm listening to commentators. Like when I listen to Cats, I always love Cats commentating. Not always, but usually. Every commentator has, you know, days where they're amazing, days where they're, you know, not as focused or whatever. But most of the time I find his casting really interesting because he's just very curious about like the different ideas the players are bringing out, the styles, the adjustments in their builds. And that's what I enjoy listening to a lot, so I try to replicate that where I can when I am a little bit more interested in the builds. Now, Void Rate gets an Overlord. He's going to come across the map, see if he can find a drone up here on this base. No drones there yet, so we'll rotate into the main. Queen should come forward. Sarah just wants to make sure he gets the inject first. Now, this, of course, denies Overlords on the bottom side of the map, but what do you do off the back of this? Void Rate into double Oracle, so very standard play. The Oracle actually just dove into the natural. Didn't find anything. He's got to get out. MAXPAX. Oh, gosh. MAXPAX. Greedy, dude. Very greedy. The Void Ray poked in from the south to try and distract. That's why he thought he could get away with that. MAXPAX loves to do this. Pull the queens to one side, come in from the other side with the Oracle. But that did not work out for him at all. He's only killed the Overlord, a drone, and a Zergling. Was it the Void Ray who killed the drone, by the way? It was. The Void Ray did kill a drone there. So he got one drone. But for that much damage on the Oracle, not a good trade. Oracle's taking control of the Watchtower. Void Ray's going to clear the Creep Tumor. Already got rid of one. Doesn't want to commit to getting the other. Queen's already damaged him. Lair and Roach Warren on the way. MAXPAX third base up north. SERRAL has a 4-worker lead. Not a big deal as 4 more gateways come in. So we're going to be seeing Blink and +1 attack. 6-gate Blink, the order of the day. It's the most solid standard build for a reason. MAXPAX says if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The only thing that he's really been broke on was a bad early game into getting just overwhelmed on Abyssal, and that was with a charge build, which is more vulnerable, and getting kind of out-efficiencyed in the late game in game 1 on King's Cove. Stalker warping into a bit of a rough position there for MAXPAX, giving a bit too much surface area. Even if he were to energy recharge, that Stalker would have gone down, and the Ling's happy to take that trade. Meanwhile, Void Ray on that bottom side. Looks like he picked off one more drone, I think, but only damaging an extractor before getting pushed back. Zergling hovering outside the base providing vision as Templar Archives and a Robo both go down pretty early. MAXPAX wants to go up that tech tree pretty fast, not leaning into the Stalker warp-ins as much as he could, because you can see the gateways are all done. He could be warping in Stalkers and getting aggressive, but instead he's playing more on the greedier end of the spectrum. SERRAL, though, Infestation Pit's already started. He's only on 68 workers, is SERRAL. If SERRAL were to drone right now, I think he'd get in a really good position, but I don't think there's a problem with delaying the workers to make army. It's just about making sure you do assert control and drone up that 4th in the near future. If you're playing late game, you need to do that. And look at that, guys. He pulled guys off gas and then immediately goes back whenever those oracles dart in and out. So it makes him the best. I thought Curiosity killed the cats. Nice. Good one, chat. Swarmos! No way! 8 Swarmos on the way. He's not even going to bother with a Nidus Worm. He's just going to run down the bottom and throw them into the main base. Wow, I was not expecting that, guys. No Nidus Worm Swarm Host A Roach Ravager Queen is not as good against Blink, but it could be really good into this main base if he can get over there. This is a very different style, and I love the range of SERRAL. Modern SERRAL, he's going to make you react to things. Drastically different things game to game. There's no such thing as an easy match for SERRAL these days. He's always in your face with a bunch of different build orders. Stalker's coming forward. Ling Roach coming there. Okay, Stalker's trying to pull back. Good evacuation, but look at that Swarmo sneaking down the bottom. This first wave, if it kills the main base, it's deadly. If it gets the Forge and the Twilight, that might even be higher value than the Nexus, to be fair. You can get rid of charge and upgrades. That is massive. Void Ray is getting pushed back by the Queen. Stalker's getting surrounded by the Roach Ling. Ling's trying to set off the stasis traps. They didn't manage to set off either, which is kind of annoying for SERRAL. But of course, he's going to take those Locusts. He should micro them past to make sure they don't land. But he's busy defending at home, which means they might get aggroed onto a pylon. No, they don't. He's microing it well. SERRAL sets off the stasis traps, pulls back, and he goes for the Nexus dive. Recall. Snap recall for MAXPAX. It's not going to be quick enough. He recalls the army. But guess what? Doesn't save the Nexus, takes a bit of damage, and it's going to take him a little bit to blink down here and assert control. He needs to mine these minerals open. He needs to blink across the gap and push these swarm hosts back. Problem, there's Roachling in the north that's going to go for his 4th base. So while he pushes back the Queens, the Roachling could actually counterattack him, and it's so hard. Where do you defend? Do you defend the main? Do you defend the north? You can't sit on 3 base right now. Zerg's on 4 base, 75 workers, Lurkaden, Hydras, Hive on the way. That is something you've got to deal with, which means you need to tech up, you need to expand 4th and 5th base, or sorry, main base being rebuilt as well as the 4th base, and the Swarm Host, they're ready for wave number 2. He might go for the natural this time. We'll see. He's going to go towards the main. Stalkers are in position, as is the Void Ray. He sees it coming. The Stalker's going to try to pick off some of these Locusts. He's got a lot of Stalkers. A Storm would be excellent. Pretty good blink back micro. He's already lost 1 Stalker though, and good blink back micro. It looks like only 2 Stalkers will go down, as well as 3 probes. Nice micro for SERRAL there to get a bit of value out of that. But at least he's keeping MAXPAX pinned. Meanwhile, Hive's almost done. Lurkaden's almost there. +1 range and Overlord speed are coming in as well. Sorry for clicking on those buttons a bit quick. Sometimes that production tab does jump around just as you click on it. Hot tip, you can actually click on that to zoom to things. We use that a lot here. Nice way to help you find things when you are looking at a game, when you're observing. Swarm Hosts, one of those will go down to the Void. Another one's very damaged there. Void Ray's going to get pushed back though. Oh god, Locusts. Another one goes down to Blink. It's only 8 Swarm Hosts left. 9, sorry. Looks like he built 11 at the end of all that. His Locusts are just going to keep sieging from here. They shouldn't find any damage at all. Maybe the High Templar? High Templar is probably your best bet. Yep, gets the High Templar and might take out like a pylon and a probe as well, which is something. It ain't nothing. Most importantly, he's keeping creep down the bottom. And Hydras intercept the Warp Prism. Oh, SERRAL has MAXPAX locked down. Now, to be fair, MAXPAX is almost maxed. He's making a very good army. And he's got 4 High Templar, 31 Stalkers. Actually, too many Stalkers. He needs more High Templar, he needs more Immortals, and he's got to get that Mothership or Fleet Beacon out as soon as possible. SERRAL preparing for the endgame. He knows it's hard to kill Protoss, so he's still getting Corruptors. He realizes that Spire will be needed for that, and SERRAL's 5th base is going to go up on the gold base down the bottom. That is the greediest base you can take on this map, but it has the best possible rewards. 2 gases, 6 gold minerals. Ling's going for a surround. If he can get rid of the High Templar, that's huge. Stasis Trap trying to save them. The last Storm goes down, but he's lost all those High Templar. Remember what I said about he needs more High Templar? He has no backup Templar right now. Stalkers in the bottom getting jumped on right now as well. 6 more High Templar do warp in. The Locusts are still finding little bits of damage, and that is really nice because you get a gateway, you get a few Stalkers. This is valuable. It's not bad at all. I'm surprised MAXPAX hasn't blinked across to hunt those down. I get it's dangerous, but I think at this point you're kind of pinned back. You got to blink across there and push SERRAL out of this southern area of the map, and MAXPAX finally does it, playing a bit too cautious in this game perhaps. Storms come down with the new High Templar, but they don't have much energy. He had 2 Storms, but not much else. The High Templar do fall back though. Great retreat against the Roach Hydra. At the same time, the Swarm Host count. How many Swarm Hosts have died? Only 2 this game. There are still 8 Swarm Hosts alive, which means if only 2 show up there, that means he killed one of his own Swarm Host guys. I don't know how that happened, but I guess he accidentally attacked his own unit at some point. Queen there is going to be taking out the Zealots along with the help of those Zerglings. Queen barely survives. 10 Lurkers are making. Lurker range has already been made, as has Adaptive Talons and the Nanomuscular Swell, which is of course the Hydra Frenzy ability. Stalkers getting pushed back by Roach Hydra Swarm Host as they continue to siege this angle. Lurkers holding the Watchtower. As long as SERRAL holds this middle area, MAXPAX is out of room. Oh no, he loses an Immortal, a few Stalkers, and a few High Templar. The Locust sieging him there, and that distraction. The Swarm Hosts aren't doing that much damage here, but they're forcing MAXPAX's attention down here, which is making him make mistakes in the middle of the map. And you can see he's got a lot of High Templar now, but he's only got 1 Immortal. He's got only 1 Robo building Immortals. And even as he chronos it, these lurkers are so scary, but we've already got a Great Aspire on the way. SERRAL is one step ahead going into the macro game. He's so far ahead in the momentum and the flexibility of this matchup. And this is one of those things, as we fly past the Moopy party there, that is so hard for him to deal with. Lurkers go in. Oh gosh. SERRAL loses 3 lurkers and 4 zerglings and 2 overlord drops. This is not a good drop for SERRAL, I don't think. Zealots plus the cannon detection should be enough to deal with this quite easily. And that is a bit of a botch drop for SERRAL, attacking there without attacking the north at the same time. Not a big fan of that one. But you know what? He still kills a few Protoss units. And the argument is that he's super rich, so it's fine. I don't think so. Remember, Swarm Hosts have been giving him a lot of efficiency. You want to be more efficient when you're chewing up supply on Swarm Hosts, because they're a low tempo unit. They give you momentum early, but over time, they drag down your army power because you're wasting so much supply. 8 Swarm Hosts, it's 24 supply. It's not doing that much to really put the hurt on your opponent. Lurkers up top. Tempest can start to siege this. Lurker Ling Hydra coming forward. Tempest trying to siege backwards. Topside, Lings are ready. Uh-oh. Zealots kind of getting split up there against the Zerglings. The +1 melee Zerglings do not have Adrenal, but they are doing just fine despite that because of the numbers advantage. Cannons in the back will defend the northern base. Look at the Lurker spread, making it hard for MAXPAX to defend. SERRAL really trying to deny this base, realizing that MAXPAX is very poor right now. Void Ray finds the Swarm Hosts in the bottom. In the top side, Ling Hydra tries to attack that base, but with the Mothership getting there, you have to get out. SERRAL burrowing some units, some Lurkers there. He doesn't really have too much vision beyond the grass, though. He's got to fall back. Lurkers kill the middle base. He picks up, runs away, and the 13 Corruptors are now in production. South side, Void Ray is still chasing these Swarmers. How many Swarmers are left? Only 7. Make it 6. More Locusts go in. Clicking the Stargate might be the best option. And in SERRAL, it looks like he tried to target the Stargate, but the Zealots defend. MAXPAX holding on like a champ. Rebuilds his 4th. He's got the 5th up top as well. So he's actually mining okay. But the Infestors are coming out. The Corruptors are coming out. SERRAL's preparing for late game, and he's mining this gold base out. He's got grid of the Void Ray with the Queens. Swarmers ready to continue sieging that side, and they're going to use Burrow to make sure they don't get found. Only 15 supply in Swarmers now, which is probably a bit better for SERRAL. More supply for Corruptor Lurker in this game, as the Lurker harass just does not stop. MAXPAX desperate to put some hurt back on SERRAL's side of the map. These Zealots are going to go north, but SERRAL's already posturing through the middle, looking for that attack on the natural. He catches a few Tempests in the open. The Corruptors are going to dive. There we go. Storms blanket the Lurker Hydra, which is good for MAXPAX, but the Tempests are getting caught by the Corruptors at the same time. The Zealot counterattack in the corner of the map got cleaned up. High Templar get taken down by the Lurker. Corruptors going after these Tempests. Nice wedge of the Lurkers there, and he does try to recall, but most of the Tempests do go down. The Lurker's still in a bit of a nasty position for MAXPAX to deal with, but he doesn't want to give him time to deal with it, so he quickly unburrows and runs away, does SERRAL. He's got a Hydra Lurker squad in the top left. More Zealots are coming over there. SERRAL's going to stumble into that, which could hurt him right now, but quick reaction. Such a quick reaction. Look at that. Burrows the Lurkers, pulls the Hydras back around the edge, and even if the Hydras go down, the Lurkers should eventually clean that up. Nice micro for SERRAL. Corruptors in the back dancing around. They're looking to potentially pee on a Nexus, or snipe Tempest or Mothership. I think the Mama from it's the first Mothership. She's still alive. She's got 6 kills. Corruptors still hunting, sharking around, and he unzips his fly. He's forcing a lot of Stalker Warpins, which are not really the units MAXPAX wants in the endgame. Microbial Shroud Lurker push on this 4th base. Again, the front 4th going down. Locust just cleared a few cannons up front, allowing the Corruptors to escape while the Stalkers are distracted. Fungal lands, but nothing to actually kill those Tempests. I feel like there's been a lot of intimidation Fungals from SERRAL. A lot of, I'm going to throw a Fungal at you and just scare you away with it. Finally, we've got the Observer Stalker cleaning up those Swarm Hosts. If we can get rid of this creep on the south, this has been such a forward area that's causing problems. Remember the high ground ridge on King's Cove? That high ground ridge that SERRAL controlled and kept sieging his front base. This has been that equivalency here on El Dorado. And I think when we talked about center control, in this map, center control is actually bottom control. Because the bottom of this map is this kind of zoned out area. If someone has that, they have access to your main and natural. It's just such a problematic area. And I feel like SERRAL, with a very small amount of army supply commitment, was creating so many problems down there for MAXPAX. And this has opened up other opportunities on the map. Look at these lurkers denying a lot of mining. Yeah, they'll get cleaned up, but it's just taking a long time, a lot of attention to do. And now he comes with another army on the south, gets rid of some of those stalkers. Problem, he can't really mine these minerals open very easily. I think he might pull some drones. He is. He's pulling drones. He's going to try and mine open this path for future attacks. And he uses the lurkers to range the ground army. If you don't leave a Tempest there or something to pick off these drones, that door's going to get opened, ladies and gentlefolk. That is going to be an opening that SERRAL can exploit later in this game. I love his forward thinking to prepare that. Lurkers have denied the middle base yet again. He's got Lings in the top surrounding an Archon. Straight Archon gets caught off. MAXPAX getting stressed on the multitasking front. Tempest goes south. Pushes back that south side. But SERRAL doesn't care. He's got the ridge. He's got the ridge above the fourth, the new fourth base. It was originally the fifth up here. Hydra Infestor comes forward. The Corruptors will dive. Mama's going to go down. SERRAL fighting into Time Warp like a Chad. Does not care about that. Tempests are coming from the south, though. The Corruptors going to take out 1 or 2 Tempests up north. They need to go south now. If the Corruptors can find the Tempests, they might be able to take care of this. The Lings are getting slowly cleaned up by the ground army behind the mineral line. The Cannons are helping, as are the Storms. The Corruptors are taking big size Storms. The Archon's helping out a lot. Great defense of these Tempests for MAXPAX. And he defends the top right behind the mineral line with the Zealot Archon Immortal. He pushes SERRAL back. His first success in a while in this game. And that is huge because SERRAL, his bottom gold base, will start mining out. He's going to have to expand here and then to this top middle center. Those are going to be his next 2 bases. They're expensive bases. But of course, MAXPAX is the one who's even more on a budget. He's only just once again rebuilding this Nexus at the forward position. And he's going to have to, of course, mine open these minerals, take these gold base at some point. SERRAL already took this base from behind, and he will have to take the gas at some point. Easy to forget about that gas in a long game. MAXPAX is pretty broke. He's traded worse, but he's stabilizing. He's getting to maxed out supply. And if he can clean up his next few trades, this could be good. SERRAL's trying to take a forward hatchery there. MAXPAX sees that, and that's insulting. Like, that's like, you know your opponent is feeling silly confident and has resources to spare if they're willing to just throw a hatchery down next to your natural and just hoping that you're too distracted to stop it. Alright, Zerglings do a bit of a loop-de-loop. +2 carapaces on the way. Already +2 melee, +2 range. Adrenal glands did get made as well. SERRAL's so good at double-checking his upgrades, isn't he? Oh, and even there, he notices what's happening. He's going to go single file. This is dangerous because it's hard to get out of here. But it looks like he's happy to take this fight. He's like, dude, I've got your main and natural. You have to fight into my lurkers. This is going to be a disaster for you, and I know it. If he can fungal those Tempests, get on them with the Corruptors, it could be good. Microbial Shroud goes down, so the lurkers will be slow to clear up. A few lurkers and Hydras break into the main and the natural at the same time. Lings on the front got frozen by stasis. Great defense by MAXPAX. Fungal goes forward. Tempests getting jumped on by Fungal. Corruptor. A few Tempests fall, but the Archon Storm is doing a lot of damage to those Corruptors, but at least they forced out the Time Warp, and they forced those back, leaving just a few Lings and lurkers to do damage in the main. SERRAL doesn't want to overcommit. He's like, yeah, my units are damaged. We need to let them heal a bit. Lings will come out of the stasis trap here and try to fight those cannons. They will be able to do some decent damage. Remember, they are +2 melee Zerglings. They've got +1 armor as well. But at the same time, MAXPAX did not sit purely defensive. He counterattacked the north, and he will take out a hatchery. A valiant effort for MAXPAX. Lands a big storm on the lurkers, but of course, the entire SERRAL army's back. It's recall time, baby. I don't think we want to hang around here. Not with Fungal landing. Where is the recall? Oh god, did he already use it? MAXPAX trying to run back, not utilizing recall. He now uses it, but he will lose an Immortal and an Archon for his trouble. The rest of his armies up north looks like they were trying to save that by moving forward. SERRAL somehow maintained the gold base on MAXPAX's side of the map. Still a 6,000 resource loss advantage for SERRAL. The Tempest count at 5, +2 air weapons on the way, no +3 ground attack, no plasma shields, no ground armor for MAXPAX. MAXPAX is poor in this game. Meanwhile, SERRAL is getting ultra upgrades, +3 melee, +2 air armor to go with his +2 air attack. He's still in a very good position. Fungal catches this army. Lurkers burrow. Time Warp could be massive, though. Storm all over the Zerg army. The High Templar are gone. The Corruptors standing and fighting, as are the Lurkers in Time Warp. This seems like a brilliant engagement for MAXPAX because of the Time Warp, but I don't know if he has the numbers to replenish. A pitched battle like that might favor SERRAL because look at his production tab. He rebuilds Corruptors, Hydras, Lings, Infestors instantly, whilst MAXPAX does not have the money to do that. So even though it was a bit awkward fighting into Time Warp, it may have been the right decision for SERRAL, realizing it's not the best fight, but I don't need the best fight. I just need a big fight because I'm going to rematch. You will not be able to. MAXPAX right now is like, just give me a minute, honey. Trust me, this never happens. I'll be ready to go. Just give me 5. Give me 5. SERRAL's just like, you think I'm going to give you 5 minutes? Heck no. I know I have the advantage. Lurkers are going to hit the north. Ling's relentlessly assaulting the middle. And of course, he's going to go for that main base again with this army gathering in the south. He opened up that front for a reason. These drones did end up hiding after the gold base went down. SERRAL still trying to steal these minerals on the map if he's able to. It's kind of a shame that SERRAL lost that middle base because SERRAL spent his entire bank now. Doesn't really have any left. Lurker gets cleaned up by Zealots. This base is up and mining. He never actually lost that base. Lings are in again. More probes going down. MAXPAX has enough probes, though. He doesn't have enough places to mine from, so he can always transfer these idle workers over quite easily. SERRAL's got him pinned in his corner. MAXPAX right now has been in a cage, and SERRAL has basically been just fighting a caged Protoss from start to finish. The Swarmo's dominating the southern side of this map to set up for this control that he's got, and now he keeps breaching the main, sieging the north, and darting in the middle to snipe Nexuses as well. This is the power of SERRAL when he's got a forward position, when he's got creep, when he's got you stuck, a little paranoid, being very reactive. Zealots come up, but without detection, he can't deal with these Lurkers and these Lings. The whole main base gets ransacked. Lurkers come in on the fourth. They take out a cannon, but there is an observer there, so the Archon Immortal will be able to take out those Lurkers. But I think that's a good trade for SERRAL anyway, because remember, he's rich, MAXPAX is poor. And guys, if you're playing if you're ever fighting a poor person, remember the best weapon is your credit card. Pay someone else to fight for you. Don't actually get your fists dirty or your hands dirty. And SERRAL doesn't need to do that right now because he can buy more Lurkers, more Infestors, more Corruptors and try to take him out. The Lurkers are here. The Observer, a bit too late. The Immortals and Archons getting shredded. MAXPAX stuck in his corner for 23 minutes. That game had to have caused psychological damage. If we rewind there with our vision of everything and our knowledge of how this game went, I think the answer here, because there's always, we're always curious, what could he have done differently? And I think after that first Locust wave, I think there's a clear answer. So let me show you guys the moment where I think this is the big inflection point, where the story of this series could be 2-2 rather than 3-1 now, maybe. And that is, I think, the Stalkers, after this first wave comes in, so they come in, kill the Nexus. Recall maybe not the best. He might have been better pushing aggressively. But if you do recall, run here, a link across this gap, and push to this tower with your Stalkers right now. Your Stalkers and your Oracles. Army's out of position. You'll be able to clear the creep, maybe catch some Swarm Hosts. And you may lose this fourth base, but you can blink back across. You also should send a probe to mine these minerals open. You should send a probe to open these minerals as well. I think for MAXPAX, he basically needed to switch his focus to controlling the tower. And I think if he could control the tower, these Swarmers become very weak. And they basically have to go to the north of the map or Nidus Worm. He doesn't have a Nidus Worm. But I think because MAXPAX didn't deal with that and he kind of just sat in his main, look at this. SERRAL doesn't even guard these units. This is actually kind of greedy from SERRAL. He kind of gets away with murder. And I think MAXPAX assumed he would be escorting these units forward for the next wave, but he's not. SERRAL he's only now opened up like a single mineral patch there. And there's just no way these Swarmers should be able to keep you pinned at home. You should be clearing the creep, getting to the tower. But because he's able to get this creep all the way forward and siege MAXPAX and keep distracting him, it allows him to also have a lot of success in the fights in the middle of the map. And that's where SERRAL just got complete control over this game. Beautiful game 4 for SERRAL as he takes a 3-1 lead. Alright, guys. We've got MAXPAX at the bottom left side of the map, and he is on his last life. He's going to go across the map super early because he does not want to let SERRAL get this 16 or 15 hatchery down. But, oh gosh, SERRAL, no, he's not going to be able to. SERRAL has to take the third, and he's, of course, going to go for it on 17. Now, he had to do this at the start of the series a lot. I don't think he's too worried on this map. El Dorado was the one map where he clearly was like, I do not want to take the third, but I think this is close enough on this map. He's not too concerned. It's also a long rush distance map on Amygdala, so I don't think he's going to have to face too much like Chrono to depth pressure or anything like that. Not to mention, a lot of the Protoss players seem to just be favoring chronoing probes instead. I mean, how much adept pressure have we seen? Used to be Showtime would do that every game. Felt like it was really solid, but MAXPAX has decided here against SERRAL it's not worth doing, and this is not the map to start doing it either because it's such a big rush distance. Now he's pulled one off minerals onto gas, and he will go down for that Nexus. Big thanks to the Hero Shin commentary last night. Happy in stitches. Dude, Hero is such a freak. I feel bad for Shin. I can't believe Hero is such a freak, man. I don't know how he won that series. They've been playing a fair bit recently, though. Their series are always very fun. Lots of ZvP recently. We need Clem to hit a few more grand finals, guys. I didn't think I'd be saying it. I was like, man, I'm bored of all this Clem games, but Feels like Clem's kind of the only Terran who's competing a lot right now. We haven't seen Cure, or even Beyond recently hasn't been playing as many online tournaments. I'm not sure if Beyond's been on holiday or break or what's going on. Maybe his shoulder, wrist injury stuff is recovering. Maru's never really played the small online tournaments. We're not seeing too much of him either. They're all scared of Hero. Shin's the only one going out there and fighting him every day. I mean, Shin, Hero, Clem, MAXPAX, probably the 4 biggest grinders. Dark as well is pretty big grinder, but not as often, I think, because he just a bit busy with family and, you know, having a young kid. I don't think he can ruin his sleep schedule on the daily to stay up for all different tournaments. Where did Special go? I mean, Juanito's still around. I got him to play a show match a little while ago, but I think for a lot of the players, they're a bit demotivated until there's like a big EWC announcement or something like that. I've seen Beyond posting social media posts going on hikes. Okay, cool. That's good. I like seeing that. I like it when, you know, traditionally unhealthy pro gamers just getting out and about doing social things, living their best life. He has an adorable dog. He has, you know, a nice life to live. It's not all about sitting inside playing video games. Good on him. Depp's going to pick off a few Zerglings. Oh, nice surround. MAXPAX shuts it down. Good play, good play. Doesn't lose the Adept. Really well done. That was nice. So, Oracles are on the way now. And that extra pylon goes down. Yeah, standard rule of this matchup, or any Protoss matchup, is if you go Stargate or Robo, you finish that structure, start the building, and that's when the unit producing, and that's when you build your third pylon. And yeah, no excessive greed for MAXPAX. I would have loved to see him be excessively greedy. I think he could have built the third Nexus, delayed the second Oracle slightly, but I think he's more focused on his way of doing it, which is double Oracle pressure. Good choice to bring the Oracle back. The Adept's a bit too damaged, so you can't risk leaving that Adept unsupported, or this Nexus could go down. But second Oracle's Chrono, notice he rallies it to the natural, where it can fill up on energy before maybe heading either across the map or over to defend the third. Pylon goes up there, and the Adept does hold position. Nice. Good snipe. Alright, guys. I'm thinking about strategies for SERRAL. I think MAXPAX is going to just play pretty standard here, and then try to do the two-pronged Tempest Siege stuff on both sides of the map, which is actually the best way to play this map. This map, the way he was playing King's Cove, where you just have armies split to the corners and use recall, is amazing, because you notice the only centrally located bases are these gold bases. So there's no like center ridge line that you can really hold on to. Oh, he gets a drone, but it costs him almost all of his hit points on that Oracle. Comes in from the other side, and beautiful pullback by SERRAL. Tries to get a Zergling on the way out, not quite able to seal the deal. Third and fourth gas comes down on the natural into a Twilight Forge. Let me guess. 4 more gateways? Yeah. And then he's going to go Storm while we're doing some 6-gate blink pressure. I would not be surprised. It'd be kind of crazy if he goes 8-gate blink, doesn't take gases on the third, does the old, 60 probe, just commit hard to Stalkers. That build has won so many games for PvZ recently, but I have not seen SERRAL struggle with it one bit. And that is like it's eye-opening how imbalanced it's looked against every other Zerg, and then how friggin' consistently SERRAL slapped that pressure down. 4 gateways, yeah, very standard. So I think SERRAL, he's got the Evo chamber. I think he's going to go range, but who knows? He's been playing a lot of melee this series, actually. It might feel like he just has to. You don't have melee, it's hard to deal with those Stalkers. Oh, dude, that's actually big. If he gets this hatchery, that's big. SERRAL comes forward. No, the Oracles have to pull back. The Adepts trying to fight, actually, against the Queens, but not really the most effective. Better to just hit the Zerglings, hey? He's shading forwards. I think cancel the shade and pull back, but no, he goes for it. MAXPAX diving in here. Only 2 drones. Good cleanup for SERRAL. Oracles push back. 4th base survives. Success. And not only that, guys, he's far ahead in this series. He's still even far ahead in the series. Builds a safety Rotoran, but he doesn't use it and goes straight Hydra Den. But then he changes his mind. He cancels it. He just canceled it. Maybe because the Oracle was coming towards it. And then he rebuilds it. Yeah, he was just trying to hide it. He was trying to hide the fact that he's playing Hydras this early. Wow. Okay, SERRAL being sneaky. Now, on this map, I don't mind drops into the back of the natural. I think that can be good, so keep your eye out for Overlord speed. Also, MAXPAX is probably going to take this 4th base, but sometimes you can sneak drops along the bottom, and then you can get in behind the 3rd and into the main base as well. And that can allow you on a map where otherwise you're just attacking through these kind of choke points, either on the north or the south of the map. It opens up a new front. 3 more drones building. Roaches with +1 range. It is indeed that +1 range. No melee here on Amygdala. But I don't think MAXPAX has a lot of faith in his Stalker pressure. How do I know that, guys? He's building 6 gases, Templar Archives. He's skipping warp-ins to focus on tech, pro production, thinking about a 4th base. He just... This is the thing when you play Serral, it's hard to have faith in your pressure finding any damage because he's so consistently shutting it down. Look at that! The Ling's already set off all the stasis traps. But the 4th hatchery, very damaged. MAXPAX, he could click on it. He's going to go hero style. Go for it. Oh, he's going for it. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. Oh, 14 hit points. And it's healing from that heal over time from the transfuse. It got down as low as 14 hit points, but he's already lost 5 Stalkers there. 5 Stalkers is a lot of money. Units lost tab in favor of Serral. Serral's 4th base. This here is literally MAXPAX frustration right now. That bleeding hatchery that refuses to go down. Another transfuse lands on it. Overseer's over there, Overseer over there as well. Hydras are building. Plenty of Roachling Hydra ready. Just 70 drones for Serral. But you know what? MAXPAX is so aggressive. His 4th has just started. He's going +2 range, or +2 ground, sorry. Storm, 7th and 8th gateways. He's going to be dealing with a Shin build. It's just going to be a max of Roach Hydra Zergling. And I actually think it's going to be so hard to defend both sides at once. He's not even going to bother with a drop because he's like, I don't need a drop. I can attack 2 places at once, man. I don't need to focus on that. A Stalker goes down in the Watchtower as well. Hydra's gonna get an Oracle. That's big. So 1 Oracle goes down in the north, the other one does pull away. Ling Roach in the bottom right. Does find a pack of Stalkers ready for it. Cannon battery trying to go down, but no time to get it ready. Serral's up 80 supply right now. Serral's had an excellent start. He's traded 1,300 resources more efficiently right now. Roachling trying to breach their natural. You can see stasis traps, Stalkers warping in, battery, energy recharge on the Oracle. Gonna need to put more stasis traps down there to try and hold back this advance. Stalkers coming from the right side. Where are the storms? Looks like they're down, hiding behind that 3rd base. He contaminated the storm! He contaminated the storm! Oh my gosh! He's contaminated the storm! It was about to finish! Contaminate finally wears off! Even with Storm, it would have been hard to defend this, but without Storm, it is impossible. And Storm kicks in, and there's only 1 High Templar left, and it dies before it can even cast it. Oh my lord, Serral with an Overseer timing to delay Storm. He poops on the upgrade, stops it from finishing, and the Roach Hydra advance is real, pulling back from the stasis at the last second. The 3rd's been overwhelmed. Roach is on the right side, kiting against the Zealot. 3rd base has fallen. You can see those Stalkers pushing that back. MAXPAX. What a brilliant play for Serral. Let's go back and catch it. There was obviously that attack was springing across, and we were very focused on that. But we did see this Overseer waiting for a long time. I was wondering about that. I was like, oh yeah, he's got 2 Overseers. Cool, cool. And he comes in here as the attack is getting going, right? So he starts marching in there, and the Overseer comes in and says, where's that Templar Archives? There it is. And of course, the other Overseer gets caught by Stalkers. It doesn't get to it. Dude, wait. MAXPAX saw the Overseer and tried to react. He knew he was going to try and get the Storm, but he only noticed this Overseer. Look at this. Look at this reaction, guys. He warps in Stalkers here, right? Or does he blink? He blinks. He runs the Stalker. He's like, no, I can't let you stop this. I've got to stop the Overseer. He's like, yes, get wrecked. I stopped you. And then he looks over, and there's another Overseer standing there with the goop all over that Templar Archives. Oh, that is devastating. Great reaction attempt by MAXPAX. But Serral just way too clean in this series. 4 wins, 1 loss. What a great showing after losing the first series, and an incredible comeback. This man cannot be stopped. Serral on an absolute rampage. Holy crudsicles. Well, if you guys enjoyed that series, please consider checking out the Patreon to go above and beyond to support the channel. Links down below in the description. And a big thanks to everyone over here who's already on there. Border for Life on the D-Town Express as our conductor, and a ton of other names. I want to say big thanks to all of you for supporting the Patreon and StarCraft. Thank you very much for hanging out. We'll catch you guys in the next Pigcasts video. Goodbye and good night.